Time for cities and towns to start dreaming again. Walking in the footsteps of giants.
Incredible!
I do not believe my eyes. This is extraordinary. Greatness awaits.
A shot at the championship. That is what Wembley is promising today. After 46 league games, 2 semi-finals and months of relentless pressure, just one more match stands between these two sides and promotion. A London derby under the arch with the championship calling.
Welcome to London. Red buses, black cabs, Buckingham Palace, Union Jacks, beefeater guards with the big fluffy hats. But stay away from all that tourist trap. For the more authentic London, come with me. On the Tower Bridge, past the Cutty Sark, turn right at the O2 and down to Valley Floyd Road.
It's in from Matty Godden!
A club with Premier League history and promotion memories. Remember Mendonca?
Mendonca! Charlton are in the Premiership!
From there, we head north, back over the river to the heart of the East End.
Charlie Kelman strikes again!
As London as it gets, you find a club that's been on the verge of glory before, fell down and out the Football League, then climbed all the way back again.
What a ride it has been under Richie Wellens! See you on the 25th!
But our tour concludes in the opposite corner of the city, northwest, the home of football. Charlton Athletic, Leyton Orient, the League One playoff final. London's calling.
Well, neither set of fans has had too far to travel this morning, but both clubs have been on a real journey in recent years with challenging times on and off the pitch. Only one will reach their destination today. All this weekend's playoffs are kicking off a minute late to raise awareness of the Every Minute Matters campaign, which encourages fans to learn life-saving CPR skills. So we kick off here at 1 minute past 1, and it's Charlton against Leyton Orient. Hello and welcome to Wembley Stadium in the sunshine, the ultimate stage for this Sunday showdown. A place in the Championship next season and silverware as well. It's a glorious day. Who will the sun be shining on by the end of this match? This is the trophy they are playing for today, and these are our guests here to soak it all up. The former Leyton Orient promotion-winning captain Joby McAnuff, Charlton's former Premier League record goal scorer Jason Newell, the already promoted manager of Wrexham, Mr. Phil Parkinson, and the man who 12 months ago was leading Oxford United to promotion here in this very playoff, Des Buckingham. Gents, it's great to have you all here. I mean, what an occasion, and Des, does it bring it all back?
It's a lot of a calmer day for me, certainly this time than this time last year. But what a wonderful day! You know, great day for football, and two teams that come into it on a wonderful run of form. So a game that we can all really look forward to.
What's it like to win this final?
Can't put it into words. I think it's a season's worth of work that gets you to this point, and what a difference 90 minutes can make. You're either back in League One next year, or you're giving yourself a good shot at the Championship.
I asked you what it's like to win a final. There's a Kids' Cup final taking place behind us. One team's just won. They've just had a massive pile-on, so they're experiencing joy here at Wembley. I think it's the Charlton team actually has just won that. I wonder if that's an omen for what happens later on today. Phil, 3 automatic promotions in a row for you with Wrexham. Firstly, many congratulations on making history.
Thank you.
It must be a massive relief not to be involved today, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs are great when you've been promoted and you can come and enjoy and watching them, but equally there's going to be a lot of managers and teams and supporters who are jealous that they're not here today, because this is a very special occasion to be part of.
But 3 automatic promotions in a row for you. I mean, what have the last few years been like?
No, it's been amazing. You know, the emotion of getting out of the National League, you can see the pictures there. It takes some beating after the club being out of the EFL for 15 years, and then subsequently to keep evolving the squad and getting the promotion against Charlton on the penultimate day of the season was very special.
But is it true what they say, the playoffs are the best way to go up? You had it with Bradford, didn't you?
Yeah, went up with Bradford here many years ago. Listen, the occasion of this day takes some beating, but I'd always take automatic promotion over the playoffs. But if you win here today, yeah, amazing. The losers, it's a tough one to take though.
And I mean, Joby, we've got two teams here today, you know, who've had excellent second halves to the season. But if I'd said to you, I don't know, middle of December, this would be the playoff final in the sunshine on May the 25th, you wouldn't have believed me, would you?
I wouldn't at all, but that's what's great about the playoffs, and there's a lot of talk about it this time of the season, but what it does do, and for someone who has been in a team that had a difficult start to a season, you've always got that opportunity, if you can put that run together in the second half of the season, of giving yourselves a chance to get in there, and that's exactly what certainly Leyton Orient have done, obviously Charlton as well, their second half of the season, they almost have an opportunity to get promoted automatically. So again, for me, that's the beauty of what these leagues are all about, and you know, it's been a fantastic run from Richie Wellens' team. You can see how far down they were in December, you know, and the form and the results that they've picked up, the belief that's now in that squad coming into today is going to be absolutely through the roof looking at that there.
And since then, Jason, both teams have had remarkably similar runs of form. In fact, they're identical for the number of points won. There's a little bit between them in the other areas, but very, very similar. Does that to you point to a close contest today?
You'd hope so, but like you said, this 90 minutes plus in extra time if need be. It's just about the moment and who deals with the occasion and the atmosphere, the weather, everything that comes with this game, who deals with it the best and who comes out of it to be the team on top. But you can always sometimes use what they've done for the last few months going into it, but it's really just about today and who can actually get more of the result rather than the performance today.
It is a huge day for both teams. Such expectations, such pressure on their shoulders. Let's check on those two 11s for you, shall we, for this League One playoff final. And we start with Charlton, who are unchanged from their semi-final win over Wycombe. Looks set to play a back three again. Defenders Macaulay Gillespie and Kane Ramsey have both scored against Orient this season. Lloyd Jones, right at the heart of that defence, was named in the EFL League One Team of the Season. And up at the front, Matty Godden has enjoyed his best goal-scoring season, netting 22 times. Could he be scoring on the biggest stage today? And it's pretty simple for Orient as well. Richie Wellens also names an unchanged side. Ethan Galbraith provided an assist and scored the winning penalty in their shootout semi-final success against Stockport. Goal scorer in that semi-final, Ollie O'Neill, starts for successive games, first time since December. And the League One Golden Boot winner, Charlie Kelman, is in great form. 8 goals in his last 8 appearances. No Jordan Graham, though, for Orient in that team again due to injury, but he has travelled with the team today. He's here at Wembley. He was part of our team, of course, in that semi-final win at Stockport. And he has been busy for us this week as well. We asked him to go down to the training ground to do a bit of filming to give us an insight into how they've been preparing for their biggest game of the season.
It's Wednesday the 21st of May and we are here at Leyton Orient's training ground in the build-up to the massive playoff final game on Sunday against Charlton. The mood in the camp is really good, really energetic, and I hope you enjoy a day in the life at Leyton Orient Football Club.
So here we have the drip man, Mr. Sean Clare. What's going on, bro? Listen, talk to me.
Yeah, we're all looking forward. We're all going to be excited, but I think it's more about relishing the experience and the challenge rather than letting it overtake you. So if I can give that energy out,
for sure,
people will take it.
Mr. Darren Pratt, I know you don't want it and I know you're expecting it, but the ripe old age of 40.
Straight in, you killed me.
Listen, how are you feeling this week? And also, how are you viewing your role in terms of being the most experienced player in the squad?
Try and make them relaxed and not think too much about the game because it can be overwhelming going to Wembley. The main focus for me and to the experienced players like yourself, Omar, to try and make the boys relaxed. And I'm excited.
Got some last-minute spray there. I knew what was coming. He knew what was coming.
Guys, you're right.
What's the energy like in the camp, from your opinion?
Nothing for us to really worry about, ultimately, at the end of the day. We've done unbelievably well to get in this position in the first place. Some of the lads were talking about it, about in December we were in the relegation zone. So to do what we're doing is incredible, so we get to enjoy this moment.
Mr. Dominic Hall, important question. How are you? How do you view your role in terms of looking after the lads and trying to build them with confidence? Because a lot of these young lads haven't played in an occasion like this.
Well, even for myself, this is the first time playing at Wembley.
Yeah.
I've had 3 promotions, but yet getting to Wembley will top it off.
Of course.
To play in front of 70, 80,000 fans,
yeah.
it's what you dream of.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's sort of, you know, for the younger lads, it's sort of staying calm,
yeah.
focusing on the game,
yeah.
and, you know, letting the day take care of itself.
Yeah. Chats, so I wanted to speak to you about something that I personally really liked, which was after the first leg against Stockport when you scored the goal.
I said, keep on doubting me,
yeah.
as you probably saw. When I first went to QPR, I felt like I had imposter syndrome, where like I didn't feel like I belonged there. There were big names in the dressing room, and you know, you just sort of try and navigate that. And it's only once you shift that mentality that you can sort of, the world's your oyster. And you know, I've always believed in that, you know, the world stands aside for someone who knows where they want to go, and I want to go right to the top. I've been vocal about that, but I know the hard work it's going to take.
This is the mentality that we like to hear. This is the energy that we like to hear.
One feed, great feed. Yes, Sergi! Clever needs an option. Good position. Sean, that's a good position, that, because you shook him out. It's my first playoff campaign, but I've only been a manager now. This is my 4th full season. So I'm usually not in the playoffs because I've usually won the league by now. And I'm off on holiday. So I've been in cup finals before as a manager. So I understand, and I've also been at playoff campaigns, successful and unsuccessful. So I've kind of used my experience from them. I only see it as being a great day if we have one outcome. So my job is to make sure that we put in place all the things that we need to do. For me, the only enjoyment and the only thing that I'll be happy with, what, 3:30, 4 o'clock on a Sunday, is we won the game, and then that is my job done. The fact that we've given these supporters a great day, but we've won.
Yes, I mean, winning is absolutely everything today, isn't it? As Phil touched on earlier on, what would it mean to Leyton Orient if they could taste victory here at Wembley today? Let's find out. We've got Peen Willenstein with us today as well here at Wembley, and she's with Joby right now. Peen.
Yeah, this is such an exciting day, especially for Leyton Orient. First of all, Joby, how are you feeling?
Well, the nerves are jangling, I've got to be honest. I think for anyone who's got an association, obviously former club of mine, I was there through some real difficult times, and just to see it back here certainly feels like a full circle moment. Obviously the last playoff final here, you know, everything that happened after that, takeover, that going really, really badly wrong, but then, you know, a real upward curve when the new ownership came in. Felt like the club was on its way back with promotion, of course, out of the National League, and everyone was absolutely bouncing. And then obviously the tragedy of losing Justin Edinburgh, you know, our manager at the time, and it was a real difficult period for the club that just needed to stabilise and reset. They were able to do that, of course, and then since Richie's come in, the progression's been absolutely fantastic, and you know, just great to see the club back here and with an opportunity to get back to the Championship.
We've got to talk as well about the turn in form, really, from the start of the season. Start of December, they were in the relegation zone, and now they're in the playoffs. That is magnificent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible, and I spoke to Richie earlier in the season when they were having that bit of a sticky start, and he was so confident in the group still, in terms of understanding that it was a young group. They had some first-time loanees that were getting to grips with what I would class real football rather than academy football, and he knew it was just a matter of time, you know, and I think the understanding around the club, he was afforded that time to let these players develop and grow. The likes of Jamie Donnelly's been fantastic, Josh Keeley in goal, obviously big save in that penalty shootout, 2 examples of that, and since they've got the momentum, they've just absolutely flown.
I know the manager said as well, he said to the fans, just try and enjoy this moment. Do you think they can, or is it going to be pretty nervous throughout the whole game?
You know, it's really funny you say that, Pete, because that is definitely what my advice would be. But again, being up at the semis and seeing a few of the fans who were through those difficult times, it is easier said than done. But I think you do have to remember just how tough times were at a point over that last 10 years and try and enjoy it as much as you can. But we all know you only really enjoy Wembley if you win.
Well, those fans certainly hoping that the celebrations will be on this side of Wembley this afternoon. Leyton Orient looking to play second-tier football for the first time in 43 years.
Yeah, that is the prize on offer for Leyton Orient today. And an interesting, Des, to get your insight into how you prepared 12 months ago for this final. Richie Wellens gave his players 5 days off. They went over to Portugal for a bit of team bonding. How did you play it?
I think the first thing is you get 10 days generally between the second leg and the final, which is a long time in the league when you're used to playing Tuesday, Saturday. So it's a bit of a different schedule. We were similar. We played Thursday night. We got the players in Friday. We went for a lunch and had some time together, but we then give them the weekend off with a view to just having a normal training week the following week. But I think the important part to that was before they come back in on the Monday, it was making sure all of the logistical stuff that they were going to come in and ask on the Monday, tickets, where we were staying, family, all of those things have been taken care of over that 3 or 4 day period. So when they come back in on the Monday, when they left the training ground, we were able to just focus solely on this game and have a very calm and good week.
Phil, you faced this Orient side twice, of course, in the season with Wrexham. What did you make of them?
Yeah, I think their performance up at Wrexham when they beat us was probably one of the best performances against us of this season. So I've seen what levels Orient can get to on the day. Yeah, good team. I think they play good football. Richie's kind of got a lot of players who've had a lot of clubs in the career, and he's kind of formed them into a really cohesive team, and he's done a brilliant job.
Well, Richie Wellens, this is his first taste of a playoff final as a manager, but he has been here before as Wellens as a player. Have a look at these shots from 17 years ago to this very day, when he and Doncaster Rovers tasted victory against Leeds United in the League One final. This was 2008. I wonder if May the 25th, 2025 will be just as special for him. He hasn't changed a bit, has he? Will he be walking up those Wembley steps as a winner again? These are the scenes outside on this glorious Sunday. Nerves are jangling, I'm sure, in the stomach of every supporter as they walk along Wembley Way. Fans of both sides hoping their side can end a long season on the ultimate high today. We are at Wembley for the League One playoff final. 70,000 expected here. Leyton Orient and Charlton fans making their way up the steps into the stadium with kick-off 40 minutes away. As they enter the stadium, the players already out on the pitch here, going through their warm-ups. Not that you need to get warm on a day like today. It's absolutely roasting pitch side here. But these are the Charlton players hoping to get their club back to the Championship at the 5th time of asking. Their manager, Nathan Jones, we saw the scenes in the semi-final and what reaching Wembley meant to him. He has, though, had his fair share of ups and downs in recent years, but he now feels he's found a club where he can really build something. And earlier this week, he caught up with Johnny Phillips.
Nathan, let's start at the beginning of your coaching journey. When that chance came at Luton, did you feel ready for it?
The first Luton team I built was a real fluid diamond footballing team that was beautiful to watch. The second one, a little bit more front-footed, aggressive, and said, right, if you want to beat us, then you've got to do something pretty special. And that's the two environments we created.
It was punctuated by that spell at Stoke, which is the complete reverse. How did you view that spell?
At Luton, we built a winning culture. At Stoke, it wasn't, but we tried to. And what I did at Stoke, I quickly realised that it was a bigger, tougher job than I'd anticipated. So what I tried to do was leave everything in a better place. While I didn't get the results required to give me longevity, it was a learning curve. Someone once told me, I said, look, it was a great learning curve. Someone said, well, try not to have too many learning curves. And he was right. And I'm a stronger human and a stronger manager for that experience.
And where would you put the Southampton experience in that? Because that was higher up, but it felt like it was over in a shot.
Southampton's is the only regret I have in life, if I'm honest. And not regret going there, but if I'm honest, as soon as I got there, I quickly found out that I probably wasn't a big enough name for some people there, and then I was immediately on the back foot. And look, I won 5 out of 14 games, which isn't great, but there have been worse Premier League managers, Southampton managers than me that have lasted longer. And that's the only disappointment. I never felt I had the time to go and really put my stamp on it.
Was that perhaps something that appealed to you in this project, what you've walked into here?
See, this was a tanker that was going backwards. To turn such a big club, such a force in football around, you first of all have to stop it going backwards. Then it takes time to actually turn it round. So then to get forward momentum, it still takes time again. What we have done is lay foundations here that will stand this football club in good stead for a long, long time.
The second leg against Wycombe felt like perhaps a demonstration or an illustration of how big the club is. The scenes were incredible. It was a very emotional moment for you as well, wasn't it?
It really was, and my reaction on Sky, and it was covered, sometimes seems over the top, but it's relief. It's not me doing anything for effect or anything. It's relief. Not euphoria, not joy. There's a little bit of joy in it, but it's relief that the first part of that is done. Sunday's a big, big game, but whatever happens Sunday, this club's not going to fold. This club's not going to go under. the foundations are here for this club to keep moving forward, and that's the position we're in at the minute.
Well, you join us in the Charlton dugout at the moment, and Des, you've been in this situation before. How are the nerves just before the game for the manager, for the coaching staff as well?
It's a little bit different, isn't it? I mean, as a manager, you don't tend to lead your team out at any other game during the season. Yeah, at Wembley, you lead your team out into a new stadium, and for me, and as an English coach, certainly coming to Wembley, it's a not a sacred place, but it's a very special place for me growing up in English football. So to walk out here, I don't think I actually sat in this seat or in this dugout for any time of the game itself. So, look, it's a very special moment for anyone that walks out here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
How much do you rely on the people around you as well, just to keep the composure throughout a game that is, of course, enormous?
I think if you've done the job that you set out to do at the start of the season, or as whether it's Nathan or Richie have done, they've had a period of time at the club where they've been able to build that identity. They can talk about the behaviours that come with that. If you're clear on what that is and who you are and what that looks like, that's where these moments, they test you, but you always revert back to what you are. And I think that's, you know, when you look at what they've been able to do, and certainly the run that's got them here, I've no doubt that, you know, this today, although will be slightly different, they'll always have those real strong beliefs, values that they'll be able to fall back on that will see them well.
You tasted success here. Just talk to me about the emotions that you went through on a day here at Wembley.
I think, look, we came to Wembley, I think we said it earlier, if you're going to go up, for me, there is no better way if you win at Wembley to go up. But to be able to walk out of this tunnel here, you're greeted by this massive trophy in front of you, which you walk past and you wonder, will that be us at the end of the game? But you walk out to a sea of your own colour. For us, it was yellow. I turned to the right, and you've got 35,000 of your own fans there. And for me in particular, it's my hometown club, so you get the pleasure of seeing that. But I think then you rely upon the people you've got around you. The game, you hope, plays the way you want it to, and the players play the way that we've agreed. And on the full-time whistle, it turned into 100 minutes for us, but on that full-time whistle, can't quite put into words the relief, the joy, the excitement that comes with that. So it's certainly in our case to put the club back into what was the Championship after 25 years.
Thank you very much. Well, Jules, I'm sure that Nathan Jones will be hoping to have the same celebrations that Des did 12 months ago.
Yeah, he will hope so, Pina. And you bear in mind, Jason, that when he took over Nathan Jones, just over a year ago, they were 3 points above the relegation zone. Just how good a job has he done?
He's done a fabulous job. Obviously, it'd be ideal if it was completed today, but in terms of where they were before he joined, it wasn't in a good place. The fans disappointed, upset in terms of what they look like on the pitch and performances, but more so the home record as well. And from what they've done at the back end of this season is remarkable at home. And I think that's what every football fan, especially Charlton fan, they want to see good performances, but they want to see wins at their home ground, and I think that's played a massive part into them reaching this final today.
He talked about Southampton there, Phil, being his biggest regret of his career, only in the job for 3 months. I guess then it was so important that his next job was the right one. Why do you think he and Charlton have been such a good fit?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. When you have a period like Nathan had, it's important not to jump back into a job which is not right for you. And you know, as a manager, you go for interviews, but it's important you do your due diligence in the club you're going into, the people you're going to be working with. And Nathan did that, and he chose carefully. He's got a great club, a huge potential, and you know, can he make that next step today?
And it's interesting, Joe, but he spoke in that interview as well about having sides in different images. He felt he had 2 different teams at Luton. How would you characterise this Charlton side? What should we expect today?
Well, I think really much so in his nature, in terms of hard working, you know, puts absolutely everything into it. You only have to look at their defensive record this season and actually how they got here. Not a lot in the game, but they dug in when they had to, and they found a little bit of quality just at the right time. And I think it does take a little while sometimes to mould that. You have to obviously have a say in the recruitment and the type of personnel you want there. They've given him the licence to do that, and now we're seeing a real togetherness, not just on the pitch, but the whole football club that had been missing before that.
We got a glimpse from there, just sat in the dugout a short time ago, taking in the surroundings, taking in the occasion, and what a huge occasion it is for both teams here. Charlton have actually won their last 2 finals here to seal promotion. Their fans enjoy it here. Leyton Orient have never won a Wembley final. They suffered penalty shootout heartache here in the playoffs in 2014. But there is a first time for everything. What a prize awaits them if they can win today. A beautiful May day here at Wembley Stadium. The fans pouring in now for this League One playoff final, this London derby between Charlton and Leyton Orient. It's a glorious day, but only if you win it. A summer of if-onlys awaits the loser. Let's recap the teams, both unchanged. Charlton at the heart of their defence. Lloyd Jones in the Team of the Year, a defence that's kept 20 clean sheets in the league. Thierry Small, a man to watch on the right side, the right wing-back, loves to get forward. 5 assists for him this season. And of course we all know about the goal threat of Matty Godden, their top scorer, the man whose goal fired them to this Wembley final. As for Leyton Orient, also unchanged from their semi-final success via penalties at Stockport, led by Omar Beckles. Experience at the heart of that defence, experience in what is a young side, including Jamie Donnelly on loan from Tottenham. 10 assists for their creative midfielder, so often feeding the goal scorer Charlie Kelman, the top scorer in the division this season. These players all out on the pitch behind me right now, warming up, and we just could not stop Joby and Jason joining them out there on the pitch. They are with Peen.
Yeah, we've got a really good view at the moment of the warm-ups for both sides. And Joby, we've got to look at a couple of the key players that will be playing today, one of them being Charlie Kelman. How important is he today?
Oh, he's been absolutely essential. We speak about this second half season run that they've been on, and you look at the amount of goals he scored in this calendar year, 18 since the turn of the year, which is an incredible return for him. And I think what really stands out for me is, and we saw it again in those semi-finals, he's not a player that needs to be overly involved in the game. But when that chance comes, he's there to stick it away. And certainly for a team like Leyton Orient that will create opportunities, when you've got a goal scorer like him, he's been such a big part of that fantastic run in this second half of the season. And again, days like this are built for goal scorers, aren't they? And there is certainly one on the other side, obviously coming from a former striker himself, Matty Godden, from Charlton's point of view. I mean, what's made him the standout player that he's been so far?
I think because he's been given that responsibility. I think with Chuck Zaniki, with his injury issues, similar to Miles Leeburn as well, Daniel Kanu. So he's really been that ever-present who's taken the responsibility on to go, look, I'm going to lead this team from the front, and he's done that. And like you said, it's similar to Kelman, where he's not always involved in the game, but when that moment comes, when you need someone who gets that one chance and take it, Matty Godden's that guy. And to go a bit full circle as well, being a local boy from Kent and playing for Charlton, this is something now where you think if it goes well and goes right, it'll be a very good season for him and Charlton.
We've got to mention Ethan Galbraith as well. He's a big reason as to why Leyton Orient are here at Wembley today.
Yeah, he's probably a player that goes under the radar a little bit outside of Leyton Orient. But again, speaking to Richie and some of the boys, I mean, he is the real technical detail player who they want to get on the ball. He's a midfielder by trade, but Richie's been playing him at right wing back when they were playing that formation, now at right back, but he'll come in and roll inside that inverted role that we see so much now, and the aim of that is to get him on the ball as much as possible, because when he gets on the ball, good things happen. We see his quality with the assist against Stockport in that semi-final, then he steps up to stop his penalty away, so I think he's going to have a huge impact on the game today.
Lloyd Jones is a player that you wanted to speak about, and he made the League One team of the season. How impressive has he been so far?
He's been in both ends of the pitch. He's been unreal for Charlton. I mean, in terms of what he does for set pieces, gets his head on it, he attacks the ball well. If it's not the first phase, it's the second phase, and in his own box defensively. But all round, his general game has been at a very high level all season, and that's, I think that's entailed in terms of the run that they've been on as well, and especially at home, when they know that people, when they come to the Valley, they're expecting Charlton's probably a little bit soft, but over the last few months they've been tough, they've been hard to beat, and I think that part has come from him and his leadership skills as well.
And I think there's been a lot of talk, and rightly so, about the defenders, but I think you look at those clean sheets, the two boys in front have been absolutely massive as well. Doherty, you know, just that role that he plays, that experience, that shielding role that he performs for the team. And again, when you have got that solid base, then you've got a goal scorer in Matty Godden.
Gives you the platform, doesn't it? Have a solid base, gives you the platform.
If you are a player right now warming up, you've not got long until kick-off. How do you keep the nerves calm? How do you make sure that what your task is at hand, that you're going to be able to do that on the pitch?
I think it's just having the calmness, but not thinking anything different to a normal game is. This is still a normal game played under different circumstances. That's all it is, and it's staying within your normal game mindset and just be thinking, once this game is underway, I'm back into that zone and thinking about it as a normal game and not the big occasion that it is. Difficult, but it's about the mindset.
All right, guys, we're going to have to go because I've heard that the sprinklers are about to start, so we'll make sure that we stay dry. But those players, kick-off shortly approaching, and they will be desperately hoping that they can shine on the biggest stage.
Pete, thanks very much. Yeah, David Prutton's just about dried out after yesterday being soaked where we're stood. Let's just have a little bit of chat about the game and the head-to-head and what we might see today, gents. Charlton finished higher in the table, Phil. They won both the league meetings against Orient this season as well. Does that give them some sort of psychological advantage going into this?
Yeah, I think it does. You know, a couple of set play goals, particularly the ones at Orient and Charlton, are a threat in those situations. Listen, there's match winners on both teams today. When you just hear the lads talking about the players, there's some real talent, and it's which players are going to step up when it matters the most on the big occasion.
I mean, Des, obviously those 2 defeats for Orient will not matter one jot if they win this one and get the ultimate revenge today. How do they do it today? How do they beat this Charlton side, particularly a Charlton side that doesn't concede many goals?
They don't concede many, but Leyton Orient, I think, are the top goal scorer since the 1st of December and second highest. So we're in for a cracking game. We've got a team that really wants to attack and has done extremely well the whole season doing that, up against a very, very good, I think it's 20 clean sheets Charlton have kept this season. So one's got to give at some point, and both teams have got the capability and personnel certainly to unpick both.
You know, you've both won playoff finals here, as we said before, Phil. Just reflect on what you did with Bradford in that time in 2013. Did you try and treat it, as they say, like just another game, or is that totally unrealistic?
No, we tried, and I think it's just important.
Sprinklers are coming, guys. Step
enjoy
forward.
Like everyone says, enjoy the day, enjoy the build-up. But once you get back in that dressing room 5 minutes before you come out, you've just got to focus on the process and what you need to do within the game. And it's the team which can separate the occasion from the performance, which will be ultimately the team which is successful. I think Des, great example. Last year, Oxford did that. Bolton will admit themselves on the day didn't play anywhere near their capabilities, and it's an obvious thing to say, but it's who can play as close to the best as possible when it matters the most on the big day.
Yeah, for you, Des, how much does it come down to tactics and planning? How much does it come down to exactly what Phil said, who stands up to the occasion? And I suppose as a manager, you never quite know how your players are going to react when they actually run over this white line.
No, I think that's where it's been real clear on who you are and what you are, and then you stick to that. That's what's got you here, and then you hope that you turn up on the day. It's effectively that, and it'll be interesting today to see, is there, you know, when we played Bolton as an example, we did change how we set up defensively. So it'll be interesting today to see if one of the two teams does tactically change up slightly different than what they're used to. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Charlton start with a back 4 instead of the 3 graphic that they give us. So, you know, there's lots of little different subplots and different battles that will take place, and like I said, it's set up for a fascinating game.
So the battle we're having at the moment is not getting soaked before kick-off. You don't want to be stood through a whole 90 minutes absolutely dripping wet, but the sprinklers are all out, making the pitch as slick as possible for this final. The players making their way off, heading back to the changing rooms for their final instructions ahead of the big kick-off. We are getting ever closer to the start of this League One playoff final, this London derby between Charlton Athletic and Leyton Orient. Less than 15 minutes to go till kick-off here at Wembley in the League One playoff final. It is filling up. The decibel levels have just ramped up as well. The atmosphere building nicely ahead of such a huge, huge occasion. Let's hear from both of the managers now with Johnny Phillips.
Nathan, do you feel your players are ready to seize this amazing moment now?
Yeah, look, we've had a good prep. We've had a good 8-9 days since the sort of the semi-final. So yeah, we're as ready as we can be.
Is that preparation about keeping things as normal as possible for what is a huge occasion?
Look, I think you try. You know, there's obviously, first and foremost, you've got to get like formalities out of the way, logistics and tickets and where to stay and stuff, and then you just try and prepare. It's at the end of the day, it's another game. It's just bigger.
Is it about having belief in their abilities and what they've proved they can do already?
I think it has to be like that. Why, you know, we're not suddenly going to change everything in 8-9 days to a structure that has got us to this point now. So, you know, all we have to do is to get them in as good a relaxed place, as good a driven place, and as good a confident place as they can to go and execute a game plan that hopefully will see us win the game.
Richie, you've had a long time to prepare for this. How ready do you feel the players are now?
Well, we'll find out in an hour or so. I think when we come and watch the stadium, come and look at the stadium a couple of days ago, it's quiet. You start to feel it a little bit, and then obviously when the players come out, you don't want them to freeze. We've got a lot of young players that, in my opinion, are fearless. So let's see where we are in an hour and a half.
Do you need those qualities? Is it as much about the mental fortitude of the players as anything they can do physically?
Well, I think it's mental, but it's also a thing where you try and impress too much. And instead of just playing a normal game, we've gone 3 or 4 months where it's got us in this situation. So let's just carry on doing the same things, don't deviate away from it, and I'm sure we'll be okay.
Will it be Richie Wellens or Nathan Jones leading his team to the Championship next season? We're very close to finding out what drama awaits these fans. They know it's going one of 2 ways. It'll be euphoria or despair. Who's going up? We're about to find out.
Welcome to London. Red buses, black cabs, Buckingham Palace, Union Jacks, beefeater guards with the big fluffy hats. But stay away from all that tourist trap. For the more authentic London, come with me. On the Tower Bridge, past the Cutty Sark, turn right at the O2 and down to Valley Floyd Road. A club with Premier League history and promotion memories. From there, we head north, back over the river to the heart of the East End. As London as it gets, you find a club that's been on the verge of glory before, fell down and out the Football League, then climbed all the way back again. But our tour concludes in the opposite corner of the city, Northwest, the home of football. Charlton Athletic, Leyton Orient, the League One playoff final. London's calling.
Wembley is ready. The League One playoff final just minutes away now. 9 long months come down to the next 90 minutes and maybe a few more after that, we shall see. And Phil, you know, those managers will have passed on their final messages in the last few minutes in the changing room. How carefully do you choose those words, those final words, after which point it's out of your hands?
Yeah. Listen, there's not a great deal you should need to say at this point because your work has been done in the build-up to the game. So it's short and sweet. Get the lads in the best place possible and send them out there to do the job.
Incredible scenes. I mean, a sea of red, although it's Orient will wear their changed grey kit today, Joby. But, you know, the fans, the players rather, any minute now are going to walk out to this wall of noise and this incredible sight. What's going on in their minds right now?
Interesting point, Jules, because until you actually experience it as a player, and if you haven't before, you actually don't know how it does affect you. Some will have a massive buzz and that adrenaline will kick in, and there will be 1 or 2 that maybe go the other way and go, oh, I've not quite experienced this before. So that first touch, that first thing that you do positively is so important today.
But for any player, Jason, this is a footballer's dream, isn't it, playing at Wembley? It's a first for most of them. Do you have to try and embrace it, or do you have to try and put it to the back of your head?
You've got to embrace the moment while you're in it, because these opportunities don't come around too often. So this is a moment that they're going to have, and they want to make sure they capture it and get either the best performance that they can, or be a part of something special with the rest of the team.
And Des, last thought from you. You know, we saw yesterday how a game can be seemingly heading in one direction, and then at a flick of a switch it goes in completely the opposite one. So how much is it about controlling your emotions, keeping your head if maybe things don't go to plan?
Yeah, 100%. I think the team that gets hold of one of the centre forwards to have made a big impact for either team is key. I'm really interested to see the battles on the wings. You know, I look at Small, I look at Campbell up against Jack Curry, and I look at Donnelly. Who can get control of that midfield area in that creative space? I think for me that'll be the big difference. And of course, you've got set plays and VAR.
Yes, indeed. I tell you what, Joby, we've talked a bit about the route that these 2 teams have had to this final and the last few years. And for Leyton Orient, Could you ever have believed when you were captaining them to National League promotion in 2019, not that long ago, that you'd be stood here on an occasion like this today?
No, the simple answer is no, Jules, and I spoke to the previous owners fairly recently about that, and sometimes you do have to take stock of exactly what the situation was and how bad it was. So the story is remarkable. Again, it's what the EFL delivers year on, year in, year out, and it's just a brilliant occasion to see Leyton Orient back on a stage like this.
And as for Charlton, Jason, you played at the club in the halcyon days of the Premier League. You know, they've dropped down the division since then, as we see Nathan Jones looking a little nervous, understandably, in the tunnel about to come out. For you, knowing Charlton being such a big part of that club's history, how much do they need to be back in the Championship?
I think it's all built up over the last 6 months, really, in terms of how well they've been performing to get to this point. And for the fans, is being in air from 2019 against Sunderland and doing it the way they did. For them, that's the way that they remember Wembley, and they're going to want to make sure that happens again today.
Des, this was you 12 months. We're looking at Nathan now, looking into the distance. This was you. I mean, what was that like?
I'll be honest with you, I was standing there trying not to look too excited. It was about looking professional, looking not serious, but I was there and I couldn't wait to get out. And that was built upon a week's worth of good prep, good planning. Felt we were in a good place. So standing there, just excitement and trying to control that.
And there is Richie Wellens, stood there, taking it all in, gathering his thoughts. A penny for those thoughts, Phil.
Yeah, you just want the game to start now. There's been such a long build-up. Both teams have had a big break between the semi-final. You just want the game to get going now, and to just hope that what you've done in training, what you've done all season, comes into fruition on the big day.
Here we go. It's time. 289 days after their season began. One game remains for Charlton and Leyton Orient. It's winner takes all. Here's your commentary team. Lee Hendry, Curtis Davis, and first, good afternoon, Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, Jules. Good afternoon. They've dreamed this moment. Now they live this moment. South London and East London have marched onto North London's manor. They've not had to leave their city, but their bags are packed, ready to leave League One behind. For Charlton Athletic, a championship club is the minimum they aspire to be. For Leyton Orient, it would be life-changing. Wembley, football's most famous landmark where the football gods live, is ready to create icons again and crush dreams again. Here, there is no middle ground. The presentation party is led by Rick Parry, chair of the EFL, and he is alongside Simon Bernholt of Flutter UKI. And they will meet the teams, greet the teams. A smiling Omar Beckles. Curtis Davis, you've been in this position, ready to go. How are you feeling right now if you're in this lineup?
I think it's the easiest thing being in the lineup. I think you're just ready to go. You're ready to do it because you know you can affect the game. I think you just want to get out there, get the game started. I think what Nathan Jones said earlier about all the bravado of the tickets and everything beforehand, all the organisation that goes into it. Now you're here, you're excited, yes, but you just want to get out there, get the game of football done and get yourself promoted.
Lee Hendry, you've been there too, the same for you.
Yes, I mean, I've been there in a different way. I actually got sent off in the tunnel because of the emotions of everything, of obviously disappointment of actually not starting in the game and then coming on in the latter stages and losing. So listen, the whole build-up to this big day is massive for a player and for the football club, because you know what it means to every single person that's involved.
Yeah, it was Mike Dean who sent him off, and he can't even remember it, Mike Dean. Wembley looking and sounding at its best. Time for the national anthem. It will be sung by Harry Lineker alongside British Sign Language interpreter Dave Shields.
Harry Lineker, joined by British Sign Language interpreter Dave Shields.
spine tingling. A place in the championship up for grabs. Who will hold their nerve?
Let's bring in today's two lineups, and we start with Charlton Athletic.
Well, let's take a check on the teams for you. And Charlton Athletic are unchanged from their playoff semi-final win at the Valley. Matty Godden, who as a youngster used to watch Charlton from the stands at the Valley, has been their leading man this season, scoring 22 times, his best senior return. Thierry Small is a left-sided player who's been making an impact on the right in the wing-back role. Tyrese Campbell is a South Londoner who's come through Charlton's famed academy, and Nathan Jones has converted him into a striker this season. He has flourished. Luke Berry is fit and amongst the backup. Well, Leyton Orient are unchanged too. They missed Omar Beckles when they were overpowered late on by Charlton in East London back in March. But the Leytonstone-born defender is good to go for this for his local club. At the other end of the pitch is League One's Golden Boot winner Charlie Kelman. There were doubts amongst many Orient fans when he returned. 27 goals have silenced those doubters. Ethan Galbraith's winning penalty sealed Leyton Orient's trip to Wembley. Richie Wellens believes the former Manchester United youngster is heading back to the Premier League. Dan Happer is fit and he is on the bench. So, it is a minute after the hour when this game kicks off, and that is to raise awareness of Sky Bet and the British Heart Foundation's Every Minute Matters campaign.
Silence. Every beat counts. No second chances. No comebacks. A minute lost, a minute late. Unless you know what to do. Time's ticking, people. Every minute matters. So learn CPR. Search BHF Reviver.
The Every Minute Matters campaign, which is encouraging us all and inspiring us all to learn CPR. It takes just 15 minutes via the British Heart Foundation's Reviver tool to learn CPR. Thierry Small starts for Charlton. It looks like he's going to start a wing-back again. How impressed have you been with him in that role?
Oh, so impressed. I mean, this is his first real full season, Gary. And this is why I have to highlight this young man. He's physical, he's strong, and he's been developed into a real fine young player and a key player for Charlton. Today, he's up against it, he really is, because he's up against Jack Curry, who had a brilliant game against Stockport in the semi-final. I just cannot wait. I know there's duels all over the pitch. I cannot wait for this one. I just got a feeling whoever comes out on top might just have the answer and the key to the door.
And as for Leyton Orient, Omar Beckles, he missed Orient's defeat against Charlton back in March. Curtis, how important is it he's back for this?
Oh, it's important he's back for this first and foremost. His leadership and how his experience has helped him. But also, you know, they struggled in his absence. Now he's back. Set pieces there are going to be crucial. He's from the area. He knows exactly how much it means to these fans.
Well, the cheers of Sunderland echoed into the night. The tears of Sheffield United tumbled. Who is heading towards greatness today? Charlton Athletic looking to summon the spirit of 2019 and emulate the players who set the modern-day standard. Leyton Orient walking in the footsteps of the class of 2014, but hoping that this time they take this chance. One more game. The referee is Andrew Kitchen. Michael Salisbury is at the controls of VAR, and in the sunshine which is beating down on North London, this is South London against the East End for a place in the Championship. Leyton Orient in their change strip of silver grey. Charlton having finished higher up than Leyton Orient in the league, meant that they could have the opportunity to wear their home kit, which they have taken. And there's Richie Wellens, who 17 years ago this very day was part of a Doncaster team who shocked and shook this place by beating Leeds United in the League One playoff final. Now Richie Wellens is back, underdog again, but this season the underdogs have become the top dogs. As for Nathan Jones, he fell to his knees after bringing Wycombe to their knees in the semi-finals. Now it's his chance to lead the club from the valley to the top of the playoff mountain.
I've got to highlight, Gary, both managers have done an absolute brilliant job, haven't they? I mean, obviously getting to the playoffs and the way things have turned out this season, and the drive going into the new year has been quite phenomenal. Credit to Nathan Jones as well, you know, coming into a football club, the jobs he's been under, not probably been as successful as he wanted to be, but showed that he's got big character, he's got a big heart, and he's got a big will to win.
Well, the banner's been replaced, and we're good to go again as Nathan Galbraith sees that ball bounce out of play. Charlton were given a tour of Wembley last night. Nathan Jones wanted his players to take in the sights of football's most famous landmark before they came here for the actual match day today. The phones have been banned. Good ball for Kane Ramsey initially. To put his foot down on the gas and get to it.
I do think it's important to come here beforehand. I think if it's the first time you're visiting Wembley as a player, getting out there on the pitch, I think getting to see it beforehand, getting to take it in, taking everything that it's about is so important, because when you get here, you're not shell-shocked, you're just about coming here to win a game of football.
Yeah, I must highlight that as well, because I think even walking in as a non-player these days, it's still absolutely amazing. I mean, they're here yesterday and it was phenomenal, the atmosphere, and it is again today. And I think you have to soak up, you have to enjoy the moment, but deep down, you want to win, don't you? It's as simple as that.
Smashed away by Beckles. Brings in a scrap. Nice feet initially there from Ajayi, and then he's taken out by Lloyd Jones, the referee right on the scene. Well, we saw the quick feet of Dan Ajayi.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I've been impressed with the way that they set up Leyton Orient. I know that this man can cause no end of problems. I think he was quiet in the first leg, I really do. Second leg, I felt that the change in formation, I felt the more attacking, influential players were so good, and that's what they need to do again today. What they did in that second leg was absolutely outstanding, it really was, and the likes of Ajayi, Neil, Donnelly, Kelman, they were brilliant, worked hard, and got rewards.
Well, a chance for Orient to test Charlton here from a set piece. Donnelly is standing over it for the EastEnders. There's Galbraith. Plays in this interesting position for Richie Wellens. Sometimes at right back, but does move into a midfield position. He's been a playmaker, a number 10 in the past, Ethan Galbraith, so Richie Wellens happy for him to step in field and try and cause teams problems.
Do you know what, though? I know that he touched on that he is definitely making firm steps in going forward, and no doubt we will see him in the Premier League. I've been so impressed with him. I think having the versatility of playing in different positions is absolutely massive as a young man, a young player. And when we've seen him step up and take that most important penalty, that just shows the character and the belief and the drive that he has. He's absolutely top class, he is.
Beckles with eyes on this and gets the better of Tyrese Campbell. Of course, it was another Tyrese Campbell who scored the first goal yesterday in the Championship playoff final. His position has been switched this season by Nathan Jones, who told him at the end of last season he'd be converting him into a striker. And Tyrese Campbell times has flourished in that position. Leyton Orient having to try and defend a long throw here. Touch by Small. Passing by Coventry. try and keep Charlton on the front foot here. There's Campbell again. He will drift out to a wide position. Thought he was taken out there, but the referee thought nothing of it.
Yeah, I think he's obviously got himself into some correct call. I think he just gets the little touch, but listen, it's an early intent of what Charlton are going to do. They've set up there, they've known the long throw here. We see Galbraith just gets the toe. It's the right call, but I think the set piece, and then it's the second phase of it. Orient dealt with it really well there. Sean Clare at the back post gets the header to stop Godden having a free header, but that's going to be important today, making sure that they're switched on defensively for those set pieces, because they really struggled against Stockport in the semi-finals.
Yeah, and they struggled against Charlton when they met in East London back in March. They were without Omar Beckles that particular day. Orient with a man down. Omar Beckles struggling a little bit here.
I don't quite know what happened really. I don't know if it's just a collision. He doesn't seem too bad. He's got his eyes closed. Maybe got a flick in the face maybe. Oh no, he just landed on his back. So yeah, luckily it's not a head injury.
Yeah, it's an awkward fall, isn't it? I think when you go up for a head as a defender and you've got an attacking player just trying to use his body, it can always end up being an awkward landing. That's what it looked to be.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, he is absolutely key for Leyton Orient, Omar Beckles, and he missed that particular defeat by Charlton back in March. Richie Wellens feels they are better equipped to deal with the aerial threat and physicality of Charlton today.
I think Sean Clare is another key player for them as well. I really do. I know that he can sort of drop back into a defensive area. That's his mindset. But being that holding midfield, I'm really impressed with the two that probably were the unsung heroes in the semi-final of Jordan Brown and Sean Clare. They really had that drive and defensive structure that kept them really stable.
In by Edwards. The cross which is dealt with by Leyton Orient. And far there despite the Orient protests. So O'Neill jumps back to his feet. There's Doherty. Two teams have powered their way up League One this season. That's a high starting position there from Josh Keeley. The right decision, though, he got to it.
He read it really well, but the thing he did was he didn't take any risk. He just got out of the pitch. He easily could have tried to maybe do something clever. Just got out of the pitch. Early on, you don't want to make mistakes in these games.
Away by Galbraith. Campbell was in the way. Here's Tyrese Campbell again, looking to try and cause problems. Now a chance for Ollie O'Neill to drive Leyton Orient up the pitch. He's driving at the heart of Charlton. A heavy touch though invites the challenge of Jones. Ajay driving for the line, and once again through Jones. Charlton have dealt with it.
Brilliant from Ollie O'Neill. I know that he plays in these sort of wide areas, but the way that he goes and drives into a central position, it's hard to pick up. We've seen that yesterday in the Championship final. You know, it was Roberts went and joined in a more central area. It just causes problems. And that's what I like about this forward bit of play and the threat that Orient have going forward.
Well, Beckles is forward here for Leyton Orient. Curry with the throw. And Charlton players appealing for the decision to go their way, but it doesn't go their way, and Leyton Orient get the corner kick. So a chance for Orient to test Will Mannion in the Charlton goal here. Beckles again, being closely watched. Doherty on him, the referee would like a word.
This is really interesting because we spoke about VAR being in these finals. The way players are going to have to defend today, they're going to have to do it totally different to they've ever done before, because the smallest margin it could be viewed.
Yeah, Richie Wellens said before the game, his team will have to defend differently today because VAR is in operation, cameras, scrutiny everywhere. But they're on the front foot here, are Leyton Orient. Mannion gets to it, good handling from the Charlton keeper who was surrounded.
So how good is that from Lanyon really coming out into a busy box and claiming that ball.
There's Thierry Small looking for the run of Campbell. Really clever feet, Tyrese Campbell, not by Small. There's Gilbert. Well, Connor Coventry. Coventry did make it to Wembley this season. Connor. Shake it ahead from Lee Hendry. I'll find myself for that one, sorry. Claire once again trying to show his defensive nous. And Doherty doesn't get what he was looking for.
No, certainly didn't. Play Joby touched on having the likes of Doherty and Coventry in that midfield. That's a real key area today, I think. I mean, who's going to come out on top is going to be important because he likes to get forward. I mean, a fantastic season also.
Galbraith. Jai beaten to it. There's Campbell again. Curry. It's O'Neill. Wayward though from him. There's a chance again for Thierry Small to try and drive Leyton Orient back. Now he'll have to get back. O'Neill on the move for Leyton Orient. Missed a chunk of this season through injury and he was missed. Now Galbraith venturing forward to Brown. Galbraith again. Galbraith lost the place a goal, but Leyton Orient again showing their intent.
Yeah, they are. I mean, likewise are Charlton when they get into wide areas. This is brilliant. I mean, Calman dropping into a more deeper role. There's that focal point for them, but utilising the wide areas as well. Galbraith, I'm not sure whether he's trying to take a shot on there or it's a kind of cross shot. He's expecting one of his teammates to get across that back post, but really good play.
Well, they are a team, Leyton Orient, who can mix things up. They can go after teams. They can also sit off, block channels and hit the opposition on the counter-attack as they tried to do to Manchester City and gave City big problems in the FA Cup earlier this season. Doherty with a problem here.
Yeah, we're just going to look back at this because just seeing the action here from Jordan Brown, he just catches Doherty just in the face there. There's nothing in it. Listen, Doherty's gone down, he rightfully gone down, he does get caught in the face, but nothing in it from Jordan Brown there. He goes up for the ball and unfortunately catches Doherty, but yeah, fortunately with VAR there's nothing to hear there.
Yeah, very quick check there from VAR. And Michael Salisbury, who's in charge of that today. And we move on. Beckles. Small being watched by Jack Curry. It's another really impressive season. He's the Leyton Orient left back on loan from Oxford. And they do use the loan market really well to Leyton Orient. The problem is at the end of each season they have to rebuild again.
Yeah, it's always a difficult thing, but you know, maybe stepping up the league, you've got more of a chance of potentially signing these players back either on loan or permanent. Obviously, the likes of Charlie Kelman, probably his actual parent club could have done with him this season, the form he's been in. But it's a really interesting one, and that's why the dynamic of the playoffs, it's win or bust sometimes with different clubs in their different situations.
Kelman on loan from Queen's Park Rangers. There's Coventry for Charlton. Campbell. Brown getting to it. There's Doherty. Forward by Gillespie. Kelman. And Ramsey in the way.
It feels like this game's just waiting for something to happen, doesn't it? It's a bit flat. It seems maybe the nerves have just took over both sides here. Just needs someone to get a firm grip hold of this game. I think it's got to come from that midfield area at the moment. It seems to be end to end with not an awful lot to go at.
chance here for Gilbert, who has spotted the run of Small. Likewise spotting it was Curry.
And that's a little battle that I highlighted. Honestly, we'll keep looking and reverting back to that. This right side for Charlton and left back role for Jack Curry. He knows that Thierry Small's going to be asking the questions down this right-hand side.
Well, this is a Charlton team who have, like Leyton Orient, propelled themselves up the table. Nathan Jones was coming under a huge amount of pressure before the turn of the year. Maybe came to a head after Charlton were beaten in the EFL trophy by Leyton Orient. But Nathan Jones was hampered by injuries at the start of the season. He felt that when they got through that particular spell, they would come good, the work would come to fruition, and it has. As Campbell is told to get back to his feet. Charlton finished 16th in League One last season, their lowest finish in 98 years.
As you said, it's a big turnaround for the football club and for Nathan Jones. Going in there and trying to get this club not where it should be. You can see the amount of fan base that they have, and I think the passion that he provides. We've seen how enthusiastic he is on the touchline. He really wears the shirt, doesn't he? And he's on that touchline because he wants the best for his side. And he's certainly got the best out of them in the back end of the season. That's why they've got that belief that they can get this promotion.
Well, look, if you're going to play for Nathan Jones, you have to buy into Nathan Jones. He admits he's relentless, he admits he's always on edge, he admits he tires himself out. But if you're going to play for him and get the best out of yourself, you have to buy in to what he brings. If you don't, then you won't. Gilbert with the free kick. Interesting header, not once but twice. Away by Ajay.
I think the interesting thing coming back to Nathan Jones is you buy in because of his record. You know, what he's done at Luton with that group of players, and, you know, before he left, having taken them to the playoffs in the Championship, you know that the results come with a group that was probably punching above their weight. So I think the buy-in comes from that. It might be intense, it might be a lot to go through, but listen, the results at the end, you're in the playoff final.
Towering, commanding header from Beckles. He knows all about the pain of Wembley, having lost 2 finals in a season with Shrewsbury. There he is again. Now the break could be on here. Doherty picks himself up. He wanted the free kick, but the referee was having none of it. Ollie O'Neill. O'Neill gets it back. Important block there from Ramsey. There's Leyton Orient. Look to open the door.
I like this little combination, I really do. Donnelly and O'Neill, there's lots of movement, there's lots of creativity and flair. That almost come off.
Out to play from Alex Gilbert. Well, that previous move, the first real bit of concern for one of these teams in this final.
Yeah, it's really been edgy. As I said, a lot of teams, when they come into it, it's about not making a mistake. So teams are probably playing in themselves a little bit, trying not to make the mistake, trying to be a little bit safe with things. It's been a game of transitions a lot. Ollie O'Neill on the breaks caused a few problems, but that's the first bit of quality we've seen. Just at the last moment, couldn't quite get the ball out of his feet and get the shot off, but the game's starting to liven up a little bit now.
I think this is what Nathan Jones is really good at as well, isn't he? When it comes to these big games, I know that we've highlighted how good he is and what he's achieved and what he gets out of his teams, but he knows how to manage these games. He knows how to slow things down. He knows how to work a game where it's going to go in his favour, and that's why you have to credit how he's set up, because it's all about who can sort of grab this game and really take control, and it won't faze him that it's sort of end to end with nothing really going on. He'll be happy with the start that his side have started with.
Forward by Jordan Brown, who scored spectacularly when these two met back in March. This fixture between these two this season, and the 2 league games and the EFL trophy, late drama in all 3. Donnelly has made the offer here. Donnelly, away by Jones. There's Brown. Donnelly again. He's looking like he's beginning to enjoy himself out there. Over the head of Kelman, and it comes to nothing.
Yeah, it's not the greatest delivery, is it? I think when you get yourself into good situations where you want creativity, you're looking for some kind of movement. Ball in the box was really, really poor from Donnelly.
Well, it took him a bit of time, but he's flourished during his loan spell from Tottenham as Jamie Donnelly. Godden, with that run in behind there, he managed to get a boot on it. There's Gilbert. Now Campbell. It's Campbell who is seen off for now by Galbraith. There's Campbell again. Seen off again by Galbraith. Round 3 between the two. How does the referee see that? Goes the way of Ethan Galbraith.
Galbraith, that's great defending. We spoke about him earlier, and we spoke about his intent to be attacking from that position, the way that he rolls into midfield and joins the attacks and builds up in the play, because he's such an excellent footballer. But what he's got is he's got energy and he's got a good footballing brain. The defensive side of him there against a really difficult player in Tyrese Campbell, fantastic. Not only one with the block, but on the second one, the mind to stand up, see if Campbell, go and beat me, wins the ball, wins the foul. Brilliant defending for his team.
Well, he played under Richie Wellens at Doncaster, and then Richie Wellens felt that Ethan Galbraith will make a really good championship player. Now they've been reunited, Richie Wellens says he is going to the Premier League.
Yeah, Richie's spoken about him a lot and his qualities. Listen, he came through the Man U Academy, so technically, you know, he's always going to be very good. But what Richie's seen is a mindset, also his ability to, like I say, be adaptable, play different positions, which means when you're able to do all that, you go to the next level. I think his football probably flourishes the higher he goes up.
Well, Omar Beckles committing the foul.
It's a little cute one there, not much in it, just clips Tyrese Campbell's heels, yeah, nothing really in it.
Well, I mentioned already Charlton's threat from set pieces from these kind of situations. Leyton Orient just pushing up their line to push the Charlton players further away from their box. Interesting.
Yeah, we've had a couple of them, haven't we? It hasn't quite happened. I'm sure that they'll slowly get their heads together, but it just pretty much typifies the first 24 minutes that we're approaching on.
Yeah, I think they've tried a little cute one there. I think there was a slight gap, and I think they saw Godden make a little run. So I think Gillespie tried something that maybe Nathan Jones hadn't worked on. But as we spoke about, with the fact we've spoken about Orient's defensive set pieces, surely you want to set that one up and then put the cat amongst the pigeons and see what happens. And yeah, they've given them a one-off.
I think early stages particularly, you want to throw one in there, don't you, just to see what it's all about. Can they deal with it?
Ramsey gets to that. Beckles. Shy moving for this, but beaten to it by Gillespie. And Jones taking charge. Beckles. Donnelly, who did pull out into a wide area again, but no way through. There's Gilbert. Ramsey striding forward. Again, Thierry Smaller's looked to make that run in behind Curry. Again, no, Curry was alive to it.
So what, he's winning the battle at the moment, isn't he, Jack Curry? There's no slouch, one bit, is he? I mean, that's where you're thinking Thierry Small might just have that bit more pace to go by him. It's not the case.
What I liked about it as well is it's not just the defensive side where he's just staying in that position, defending, kicking out our play. He's got the mind to actually get his body across and then still retains the ball for his team and allows the attack. We see just there, now Leyton Orient are attacking, and they're in the attacking third of Charlton.
That's Claire's ball, looking for Ajay. Leyton Orient last stood here in this position 11 years ago. 2 up in the final in the Championship against Rotherham that day. Finished 2-2, then ahead in the shootouts, and they lost. And then came, incredibly, a one-way ticket to near oblivion. They pushed on the next season in terms of their signings, but players coming in who were being paid higher wages than those who were already there, and it sent a wrecking ball through the dressing room, and they fell into non-league. And now they are back here today with another chance like this.
I was here that day. I was there in the Orient End as a homegrown boy, and watching the game. It came a week after having lost the FA Cup final after being 2-0 up, so it was a little bit of PTSD. Unfortunately, to see it happen again. But listen, those fans have been through it. They know what this club's been through, and I think they're happy and in a better place now. That if they weren't to go up, that they're in a stronger place now than they were back then.
Well, the Orient players, the class of 2014, still very much in touch with each other. A few are here today. They're in a message group with each other. Russell Slade, the manager too. Russell Slade, who now is still coaching and has his own data company as well, and has settled in South Wales after managing Cardiff City. But that's the last time Orient was standing at the gateway to the Championship. And a few years later, they were near extinction. Incredible. But they're back. And let's not forget the part that the late Justin Edinburgh played in restoring Leyton Orient to become an EFL team again. There's Beckles. Galbraith in a scrap with Edwards. Ajay. Well, the ball has stayed in play despite the Charlton protest. The protest more from the fans than the players. Ajay again. Ajay with that ball in, and too much on it for Brown, who was arriving on the scene.
Yeah, another ball that's gone wasting, really. It's not a bad ball from Ajay. You feel Kelman just drifting out of the equation. There's not much for him to hit, and that's where you can see Jordan Brown making that direct run. Positive. Just can't get on the end of it.
Well, we mentioned the Orient class of 2014. They are in attendance here today. Chris Dagnall, Dean Cox amongst those here. Chris Dagnall, who missed the penalty in that shootout against Rotherham. So they know what kind of a sliding doors opportunity this is. There's Campbell, who runs into trouble but wins the free kick.
So good from Campbell. I mean, this is exactly how Charlton are going to play this game. It's going to pan out. They're going to try and get exciting, vibrant players on the ball like Campbell, where he's in 1v1. And Green has to come and just put the block on, because it just goes by him here. And he has to stop him in his tracks.
Beckles loses the header, and that's what causes the problem. Romani Edwards-Green knows that he can't get past him. He tries his best to get the ball, but ends up fouling him. But listen, a player that knows him really well, obviously having started the season at Charlton, it must be a really interesting prospect for him being in this Leyton Orient team.
Josh Keeley building his wall in that Leyton Orient goal. Alex Gilbert, a winter signing on loan from Middlesbrough. He's standing over this and having a look at it, as is Macaulay Gillespie. Charlton attacking the east end of Wembley, which is where the EastEnders, Leyton Orient's fans are housed. It's Gillespie! To do that at a place like this, on a day like this, is what dreams are made of. And Charlton Athletic, a League One big hitter with a Premier League
Wow. This was what it's been waiting for. This place is official. It's erupted. It is off the mark. And I would say it's a fantastic free kick. I'm not so sure it is. And I think Josh Keeley will look back at this. He's left an awful lot of space for him to execute it. Brilliant execution from Gillespie. But I must say, Josh Keeley will be so disappointed that he's got his fingertips on it. I wouldn't say it's hit with so much pace. I think the goalkeeper should do better. But what a fantastic start that is for Charlton and Nathan Jones. Look at the emotions.
I think take nothing away from Gillespie. As you said, Lee, he hits it well enough, but it's not right in the corner. And I think maybe with the wall, he's gone with a 4-man wall. Sometimes when there are 2 players standing over it, one right footer, one left footer, you'll put a 5-man wall just to be safe. He was comfortable with the 4-man wall, but he can't be able to bend it round the wall and get in that side. It's really disappointing, but listen, take nothing away from Charlton. It's a great finish from Gillespie, but yeah, I would like to have seen him done better.
6th goal of the season for Macaulay Gillespie, his best return. Ajay, too much on that. But Gillespie, he backed himself, he delivered.
Yeah, he did, and do you know what? Confidence is brilliant, isn't it? Because he stood over it with Alex Gilbert, and it was whether who was going to take it, who was going to take it on. Yes, he took it on. And I always say, you know, if you can get it over the wall, or you can get it around the wall, which this is around the wall, there's no movement, but, I mean, you can't even say he's seen it late, because there's only one place he can really go.
It's also the fact that it's from the inside of the wall. If he swings it, if it's a right footer and he swings it on the outside of the wall and you maybe can't see it, but the fact he swung it in towards him and he still doesn't make it, you know, it's a lot of questions need to be asked. But listen, he's stood up a lot of times for Leyton Orient this season, but he's going to have to be big for the rest of the game now and make sure that they've got the chance to get back into this game.
The contrast of the playoffs. South London celebration in North London's manner, thanks to Macaulay Gillespie. Charlton with a player down here, Alex Gilbert is down receiving treatment.
What a moment. I mean, just have a look round now. It just feels like this has really got going. It's how now Leyton Orient, there must have been a few words on the side there from Uchi Wellens, keeping the game, staying the game. It's important now they react to that, because they haven't played badly. I just think that the way that Charlton have set up, they've made it difficult for them to try to frustrate them. And that's where they need to re-galvanise, recoup and go again.
And now they have got that lead. We know what Nathan Jones' teams are like. He's not going to let them back in easily. He's not going to open up and allow them to play through the line. So he's going to be really stubborn from now for the rest of the game. And it's for Leyton Orient to do something special to break that Charlton defence down.
There's Jones. Gilbert waiting to come back on the pitch.
Well, just touching on what we said about Nathan Jones, just have a look at the way that they've set up Charlton, and look how deep they are. Look at the 3 centre-halves. I mean, basically, you've got furthest up the pitch is Tyrese Campbell, so he's an outlet. He's the one that they're looking to give the ball to, but basically they're compact in midfield, they're sitting deep, and that's why we haven't seen much of Charlie Cowan in this first half. He likes to run in behind, he likes to cause problems. He hasn't been able to because the 3 centre-halves are so deep.
Well, one thing we know about Leyton Orient, they are a resilient bunch. And they'll have to show that kind of strength of character again now, having been hit by that Gillespie free kick. There goes Matty Godden. Campbell's up there with him. If he can find him, he tries to, but there's too much on it.
Yeah, it's a wrong decision from me. Matty Godden, I think if he just looks inside to his left, he's got a much easier pass. Very small, bursting up the pitch. Just have a look at him coming into the picture. Yeah, he just slows things down. He's waiting for Campbell to make that move, but that little chop inside is the ball. It's a hard one to pick out.
This is what Curtis Davis was talking about. This is how difficult it is to get Charlton off the ball once they're ahead in games.
Yeah, 100%. We spoke about it before with Nathan Jones. He's capable of winning the game in different ways. He can be in your face, he can be defensive and rigid, but once he's got a lead, we know he'll try and hold on to that with everything. Not to say they're going to sit all the way back, but we've seen already defensive positions, average positions. He's not going to allow that space in behind for those quick front three to get in there. So it's going to be a long afternoon for Leyton Orient to try and break that down.
It'll be interesting knowing that Richard Wellens isn't shy of tweaking and changing formations as each in-game. So that might be something that we might have to look at, and as we can already see is that Galbraith has gone and played in a bit more of a central role, just to maybe disrupt that midfield area, that not just release one of them forward players.
Advantage played, here's Ajay. 3 in the box for Leyton Orient. Ajay trying to find a way through, but look how many Charlton bodies are back. Brown, Galbraith. Ajay with the cross. Mannion's coming for it, and Mannion gets to it.
And it's the same again, it's the same cross again. He gets into that area, you want him to take on the man, but once he doesn't, he has to put it in with a purpose. He's hung up to the back stick about 2 or 3 times now, and nobody's there. He needs to know where he's putting the ball, get that communication and those eyes with the centre forward, and just make the right pass. You'd rather it be cut out of the front post where a striker's running than put in an area where Charlton can catch the ball and now try and go on the break.
It's having a patient approach, isn't it? And that's what they need to do. I think it's okay because you feel that you've got to get back into the game. You have to just slow things down. You have to pick the right pass. If it's not on, come back out and start again.
South London voices filling the air inside Wembley. Gillespie, the goal scorer, getting the better of Ajay. They have come here in their numbers. Almost 40,000 backing Charlton Athletic, just over 35,000 supporting Leyton Orient. And right now, it's the Charlton fans who are smiling, but with the knowledge there's still plenty of time to be played here. This is the playoffs.
We saw what happened yesterday, though, didn't we? We saw a dominant team for 75 minutes, didn't see any other result, and then they end up losing the game. So there's still a lot of football to be played in this game today.
Doherty, bit of room here for Campbell. He's managed to find a way out of that, Campbell. He's got the return ball as well. Tyrese Campbell was just trying to pick out Godden, but in the way was Keeley.
Do you know what's brilliant about Tyrese Campbell is that just watch him when he picks the ball up on that ball. He's got 3 Leyton Orient players round him, and he has the vision awareness just to clip that ball inside and then go again. That's what can be the difference today. Just little moments of picking and little right passes out, which you probably have to criticise. Leyton Orient probably haven't done that as well as Charlton have.
Came through the Charlton Academy, Tyrese Campbell, his hero Ademola Lookman, who used to wear the shirt of Charlton when Tyrese Campbell was a ball boy at the Valley. Gillespie, that's Doherty. Edwards. It's Coventry. Now Gillespie. Donnelly. O'Neill. There's Ajay. It's on his mind this time, it's deflected. And deflected behind.
Yeah, he's done the right thing there this time. Rather than just drive in and then try and cross the ball, he's seen an opportunity, tries to open up his left foot, just gets deflected out for that corner. But now it's an opportunity for Leyton Orient to try and get at that back line.
He's had a lot of ball, hasn't he, Ajay, down that right-hand side, and not quite delivered.
Plenty of lift on that, and the header was planted just wide from Romani Evans Green.
Mannion looked really comfortable this one. I was a bit more on my feet there, but Mannion looked really comfortable knowing it was going wide, saw it out, but he gets his head to it, just doesn't quite get the power to get it back across, and it flashes just past the left-hand post, but Mannion more than covering it.
Well, we know he is an emotional character, Richie Wellens. He's been sat in the stands for some games this season. He said it was to save himself money, save him from being fined. He admits he can be a little bit too emotional. He's trying to work on that, but he wants to be pitch side for this today, right from the off. He's been a winner here as a manager before, when Salford won the EFL trophy final against Portsmouth. Beckles. Ajay looking for Kelman, who's had very little to go at as of yet.
Well, have a look at this, and this explains an awful lot, doesn't it, in the game, when you've got the top scorer in the league. He's had 5 touches, and just look where his touches have come from, pretty much close to the halfway line. He's frustrated, he's having to drop deep to get the ball. 1 touch he's had in that far corner. That's where you need to find a solution of where you can get him on the ball, where he can be effective. So you have to credit the way Charlton have gone about this. They've tried to just nullify anything that's gone forward and stop him as much as possible.
It is the 61st game of his season. When Richie Wellens signed him on loan again, he said, I will play you in every single game. And he has done.
And he's delivered. That's the main thing. You know, he's had his loan spell here before. He's had a few spells everywhere else, with Wigan as well being one. I think his top scoring record before this season was 7. So the fact that he's come here and he's scored 23 league goals is unbelievable, and he's been a great find for Leyton Orient this season.
Clare, another who used to wear the badge of Charlton. Galbraith. Donnelly. O'Neill in the middle here, an important touch there from Jones. It's Ajay who is setting his sights, didn't really catch hold of it. Now Clare. There's Brown, loose from him. And the retreating Matty Godden gets to it.
Brilliant, look at that, the centre forward's getting back and sitting on the toes of the defence just. And there's the one thing in his mind, he knows what time it is, it's getting to that stage. You know, they're going to have a breather, so just stick it in that corner, let's get out, let's squeeze up the pitch.
Donnelly. There's Clare. And he gets to it for Charlton, who have the edge here as we head towards the break.
A little bit loose from Leyton Orient in the last few minutes. We had one from Jordan Brown a minute ago, and just there from Sean Clare, a little bit loose, just at the wrong moments when you want to make that pass that can sustain an attack and maybe open up a little pocket. Just been really loose with the passing, and you know, I think they sense half time. Richie's going to need to change something. If it's maybe getting someone up towards Kelman to help, but something needs to change.
Good strength from Tyrese Campbell, who's protected the ball really well. The referee has played the advantage. Doherty stepping forward. Thierry Small to his stronger left side, and then Gilbert sets his sights, but it's over the top.
Yeah, it's a time effort from Alex Gilbert. I don't know whether he's caught in two minds here, whether he just gets completely under the strike, doesn't he? Doesn't even test Josh Keeley.
Well, more Premier League games than ever before next season on Sky Sports. 215 live games starting in the next campaign. Whoever wins this will be one step away from the Premier League. Charlton haven't been into the Championship for 5 years. Leyton Orient have not been there since 1982, their last ever second-tier game. was a 3-0 win against Leicester City, but they went down that particular season along with Cardiff City and Wrexham. Charlton finished just below Chelsea. To get back the Leyton Orient would be life-changing. For Charlton Athletic, to be a championship club is the minimum requirement.
Yeah, we spoke about Sunderland yesterday and their route in terms of having gone down the leagues, being at League One level for so long. Charlton have got that similar record in terms of a Premier League team in very recent history. Fell down to the Championship, fell down to League One, and now it's time for them to try and get back to that Championship.
Great feed from Small. Godden will give chase. He's managed to keep the ball in play. He somehow managed to get there, but no one was there to finish it off.
I really thought Keeley was going to dive to take this. He maybe backed his defender. Whether or not Beckles has given him a call, I'd like to think so, because he's really calm with it. As the ball goes across, he doesn't make an attempt to make any kind of block or save. I'm thinking that he gets a shout from Omar Beckles.
Well, that is it. The half-time whistle goes, and Macaulay Gillespie's free kick is the difference at the break. Josh Keeley got across but couldn't keep it out. The big moment in the first half at Wembley. Charlton Athletic are halfway towards a return to the Championship. At the break, Charlton Athletic 1, Leyton Orient 0.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. It is Charlton who lead Leyton Orient by a goal to nil at half-time here. Des, Phil, Jason and Joby with us. And Jason, your old club in front, but after a tense, tight first 30 minutes, did it feel like a set piece was probably going to lead to the breakthrough?
No, definitely. I think what Charlton did well, they unsettled Leyton Orient a lot in that first 30 minutes. He made it their type of game, defended deep, got bodies behind the ball, made it scrappy, picked up the second balls, and it was that type of set piece that was going to get them in the game. If it wasn't from a direct free kick, it would be from a corner. But ultimately, regardless of how or what the wall setup was like or keeper positioning, Charlton will take the 1-0 going into the half-time.
Let's have a look at the goal then and get the first view from the former Leyton Orient man. Joby, how disappointed will your old club be to concede like that?
Yeah, very. You know, we talk about these games and it's the moments in them that can make the difference, and this is just one in what was a cagey opening half. And for me, you just look at the setup here, there's got to be one more man on the inside of that wall. You know it's going to be a shot. Clearly, Macaulay Gillespie, I know he's a threat in the air, but he has scored a direct free kick a couple of months ago. So for me, Josh Keeley has to have that wall set up with an extra man, and then all he's got to do now is find that gap. You can see there it doesn't go right into the corner. Again, yes, credit to him for the strike, but for me, Josh Keeley should not be getting beaten from there, Jules.
Phil, give us the manager's perspective.
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper's got to save it. The wall's not great, maybe an extra man in there, but it's not gone right in the corner, and I think he'll be disappointed.
Yeah, and Des, give us what Richie Wellens is going to be feeling right now. I mean, if this is the goal that decides this final, how disappointed will it comes down to one like this?
Yeah, the good thing is you've got 45 minutes to come back out and correct it. I think in the game so far there's been real interesting battles down either side. You've got Curry and Galbraith up against Campbell and Short. That's where the battle seems to be taking place. There's not much space in the middle. And now Charlton have sat, I think Curtis picked up in the commentary, sitting deep, but not sitting deep to defend. You know, they've got Godden, they've got Campbell that they're leaving up in those moments, and when they kill the space behind, because we know how good that Leyton Orient can be with the space, once they get it, they've got an opportunity to play in, or they can play the runs that are being made. So, you know, you've got 45 minutes to put something right, and I'm sure we'll see a different approach second half.
It is just one goal in it, and it is from the left boot of Macaulay Gillespie that's put Charlton in front. It sent 40,000 Athletic fans wild here at Wembley Stadium. I'm sure you could have heard them back at the Valley. I'm Nathan Jones and Charlton heading back to the Championship. Big 45 minutes ahead. It is the iconic Monaco Grand Prix today. These are the scenes in Monte Carlo just a few moments ago with the drivers on the formation lap. It's Lando Norris in pole position today ahead of the home favourite Charles Leclerc. You can see the race live right now. It's on Sky Sports Formula One. Here at Wembley, half-time in the League One playoff final. Earlier we had another final. Charlton were in that one as well in the Utilita Kids Cup final. St Mary's Catholic Primary School representing Charlton, winning it against Norbrecht Primary Academy on penalties. Special moment for those youngsters here at Wembley. Who says you can't win anything with kids. The big boys are back out shortly. Nathan Jones' team 45 minutes away from glory and promotion. What can Richie Wellens' Leyton Orient do about it? Second half coming next.
Switched to Lebara Mobile last year, saved a small fortune.
Well, my big mobile network costs more, but you're paying for a better network.
It's the same network.
OK, but the extra cost is for better customer service.
Lebara's got 4.8 stars on Trustpilot. Not that I'd know. Never had to call customer service.
Lebara, the smarter mobile network.
Maybe I like calling customer service.
Players just coming back out here at Wembley Stadium. Leyton Orient need a route back into this final. They trailed Charlton 1-0. Joby, Charlton don't give up leads. Ordinarily, we've seen that this season. How did Leyton Orient put that right today?
It's just about finding a bit more quality, Jules, in and around that box. I think Dan Ajayi down this right-hand side, he seems to be the one that's got that little bit of an outlet, and he sort of got in and around the 18-yard area without really producing that real moment of quality yet. Jamie Donnelly, another one, and this man here we just haven't seen enough of in terms of getting him on the ball in the areas that he can really be dangerous. So, listen, I'm sure Richie Wellens is saying, boys, we've got 45 minutes, just go and give it a go. Do not come off this football pitch without feeling we've had a right go in the second half.
Charlton started the season with a 1-0 win, Phil. If they finish the season with a 1-0 win, they're going up. What does Nathan Jones do? How does he play this in the second half?
More of the same, really. They've looked strong in the structure. They've got threats going forward. I don't think he'll want too much difference. He'll want a real concentration level and a real focus right to the end.
So we are, the Charlton players on their way out now to a boiling hot Wembley. One goal, one free kick separate the two sides. Can Leyton Orient respond in this second half? More from Phil, from Joby, from Jason and Des at full time. It is potentially a season-defining 45 minutes for both of these teams. And it's time to rejoin your commentators, Lee Hendry, Curtis Davis and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, Jules. It is now down to this. And whoever wins this will boost the bank accounts by a good £10 million plus. That's what it means. Winning promotion to the second tier from the third. Also, it's about the status. Leyton Orient with 45 minutes to save this. They did play a couple of league games at Wembley back in the 1930s when they were called Clapton. They've won those two league games against Brentford and Southend. They've not won at Wembley since. As for Charlton, they've got pedigree here. They've won their last three major finals at Wembley, and right now they are on course again. Thanks to that free kick from Macaulay Gillespie. Charlton have a free kick right at the start of the second half.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Leyton Orient go about this second half. It's going to be a big 45 minutes plus stoppages, but I just wonder what the message was at half-time. What can we do? How can we change things? How can we make Charlton work in them defensive areas? I just felt it's been pretty easy and straightforward for them, and that's just probably been down to the poor decision making. I'm pretty sure that will have been highlighted, particularly when they've got in good areas and probably not utilised the areas that they've got in well enough.
Small trying to find a way through. As you mentioned in the first half, the three previous meetings this season have seen late drama. Chance for Josh Edwards to test Leyton Orient from a long throw. Gillespie has made his way forward here, looking to try and be a menace. Beckles again, wins the duel. Not for the first time this afternoon. There's Ramsey. Now Coventry. Both teams attacking the ends at Wembley where their fans are housed in this second half.
I know it's an old cliche, but the next goal in this game is absolutely massive. It really is. Orient to get back on level terms here, and they get a huge uphill battle. Charlton go and get a second.
It's interesting tactically to see with Charlton and the way they've done things. Kelman's not got that space in behind. I would have been really interested to see if there was someone put beside him a bit higher up towards Kelman to try and isolate at least one of those other three, because at the moment it's just the three of them as we see now. With Kelman, Ajayi's actually stayed high this time, but trying to get someone as close as possible and then just allowing Kelman maybe that little bit of space to have the opportunity at some point in the game.
I think that's why they have the sort of 2 10s, or the three that are in behind. They have to try and draw one of them 3 centre-halves. You played there, Curtis, and when you've got one centre-forward to deal with, at times you can switch off because you think it's an easy sort of battle to have because you've got 2 centre-halves alongside you. But as you said, it's a real big point that you have to try and disrupt them back three, because at the moment you can see already that Gillespie's just happy to sit the deeper one, and anything that's missed out, he's there to mop everything up.
Well, Leyton Orient did score 72 goals this season in the regular league season. Second top scorers in the 3rd tier. They need something here. Keeley just biding his time, waiting for an option, and he finds Ethan Galbraith. Donnelly. There's Beckles. Now Galbraith. There's Ajayi. Saw plenty of the ball in the first half. Again, it breaks down for Leyton Orient.
Charlton just running back in their numbers there, but still leaving Kelman up the pitch. Godden up the pitch and allowing them, if they do transition, they've still got to try and have that threat to get that second goal.
Galbraith. Ajayi. There's Brown. This is Beckles. For his local club, this will mean more to him than most, the Leyton Orient centre-back. Here's Galbraith again. Well, another ball is on the pitch, hence play has been stopped. Earlier that Nathan Jones was under a bit of pressure, not from the boardroom, then certainly from a section of fans earlier this season, as Charlton struggled in the first half of the campaign. But look at them now. There's Donnelly. Galbraith's on the outside. He had to contend with the balloon that was on the pitch too there, Ethan Galbraith.
I'll tell you what, he did really well, didn't he? Because I won't give you up to choose. He got the right ball anyway. Well, the balloon that was in the way, he's cleared it out of his way, but then again, this has been what they've been guilty of when they've got in good positions, straight into the goalkeeper's gloves. Mannion just claiming that very, very easy. It's been their downfall.
There's Campbell. Thierry Small getting onto a stronger left foot, but not quite what he was intending.
Similar to Ajayi in the first half there, he does everything right in terms of making that little space for himself, but he doesn't get his head up properly, just whips it into an area at the back post, and nobody's there, and out for a goal kick for Leyton Orient.
As you mentioned in the team news, he's very much a left-sided player, Thierry Small, but playing in this right wing-back role for Charlton under Nathan Jones. Thierry Small feels that will benefit him when he does switch back to the left at some point. Beckles, a slip. An untimely slip.
I think coming back to Omar Beckles and being from the hometown and stuff like that. I think when you see his story and the fact that he's come from non-league, he's come to this place twice with Shrewsbury and lost finals. For him to think that he could be a championship player at 33 going on 34, it's what these games are made of. You know, some players are able to get there by being bought and stuff like that. To do it the hard way and do it with your hometown club would be extra special.
Well, he's got some defending to do here as Edwards launches that throw. Mistake there from Ramsey, who's tried to atone for the error, and atone he does. Edwards, a bit of space potentially here for Tyrese Campbell, although Beckles stepped across his path and then commits the foul.
I tell you what, that's what Charlton do really well, honestly. I mean, you look at that defensive little situation there, Ramsey does well, and then it's feed straight into the forward areas where this is what they do so good. They're positive, they're direct, they win fouls, and it just slows the game down. It goes all in their favour. It's an excellent bit of play. Tyrese Campbell.
Frustration for Richie Wellens, a free kick for Charlton. Richie Wellens and his Orient players know just how dominant Charlton can be from these kind of situations. Jones amongst those waiting. Alex Gilbert is standing over this. In by Gilbert, Beckles gets to it. Donnelly now, as Orient looked for something on the counter-attack, but the referee has brought play to a halt. A free kick for Leyton Orient, which Donnelly again wanted to get on with things quickly, but the referee wants that taken again.
I was quite surprised the referee stopped it there. I thought there might have been a slight opportunity for Leyton Orient to get on the break. You see down the left-hand side, Galbraith was on his way, and Curry was on his way, and yeah, the fact that the ref pulled it back just stems that flow, and I think Charlton will be happy with that. To be honest, it was a small foul, and they'll be happy the more the ref does this.
There's a slight delay too, because that banner away to our right had blown onto the pitch again. There's Donnelly. Ajay to his right. Here is Dan Ajay. Kelman waits in the middle. O'Neill's there too. The goal from Curry is dealt with, and Charlton looking for something on the counter-attack. Groton takes the hits, and he will settle for the free kick.
Tell you what, that's top centre-forward play there from Matty Godden. Just knows exactly what's coming. There's no one behind. He's got no support. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just back in, have a little look around, and I'll use every bit of experience I have in my kit bag.
Yeah, so simple. But it's reading the game, isn't it? It's understanding, and Godden did that. Edmonds Green was too anxious to try and win the ball. You don't have to win it there. He's not going to run away from you. You keep him that way. You've got another man coming to help you. Just let him have it.
Used to get the bus from his home when he was a youngster to go and watch Charlton in the Premier League. Matty Godden used to sit in the what is now the Alan Kirbishley stand at the Valley. Now here he is, hoping to lead Charlton back to the Championship.
What signing he's been as well, hasn't he? Having the goal contribution this season. I mean, he is clinical, there's no doubt of that. That's the main concern that Orient will have if he gets one chance. Tell you what, I'd be surprised if he don't stick it in.
The other side of him is just keeping him honest. You know that he's the type of player that he wants to be on the shoulder, he wants to keep making those runs, and especially, as we spoke about with Beckles, how much it means to him. He's going to keep going to the very, very last minute and make sure that he helps his side get over the line.
Gillespie's forward, Jones is forward as Edwards prepares to launch this one in. Campbell, done by Gillespie. Beckles in the way, he goes down. The referee happy for play to carry on as Beckles picks himself back up. There's Jones, who's surrounded, trying to trick his way through. Jones again, Campbell, Ajay. Out by Galbraith, and a chance here for Kelman to make the move behind. First real chance for him to run behind. Charlie Kelman will settle for the corner.
And that's the first time we've actually seen a run being able to access the space, and that's because Charlton are in the final third, but credit to Ethan Galbraith. He's got the vision to just pick out that runner, Kelman. They need more of that.
There's O'Neill. As the corner goes short from Leyton Orient. Now Donnelly. Curry. There's Curry again. That deflects! Inches away!
I'd love to see another angle of this, because I'd like to know how close that was to that bottom right-hand post. But you see here, Curry just hits it really well, and oh, Mannion does all sorts to get across the goal, but once the deflection happens, he must be thinking, please, please, and fortunately for him, it's just the other side of the post.
Donnelly rolls it short to O'Neill again. It's dropped to Brown. Two big moments for Leyton Orient.
Oh, massive, massive. I mean, this is their best chance. And I know it's not easy, and I tell you, it's not a million miles away. I mean, he's got to swivel, turn, make sure he hits the ball, which he does, and try and guide it in that top corner. Jordan Brown, he isn't too far away from putting that in the stanchion. This is such a good spell for Leyton Orient. Oh my word, it's the other one that was just past the post. By the way, what a block that was from Ramsey when it coming out and just making sure he just took the sting out of the shot.
Encouragement for Leyton Orient. And probably the first real bit of concern for Charlton.
Yeah, it is, and it's got the Leyton Orient fans up a little bit, and it's got that atmosphere going, so getting a little bit small, knowing that you're actually having shots, actually creating things to try and make Charlton question themselves. You know, it's an interesting spell. Jordan Brown scored a worldie against them in the home game. That would have been another one, but unfortunately, as Lee said, inches away from that postage stamp in that top corner.
Yeah, that attempt there was from closer in. Compared to the one he scored, he smashed in the East End against Charlton back in March. But that's all come from that first run in behind from Charlie Kelman.
You're able to stretch the play, aren't you? You're asking questions that haven't been asked today, and they haven't been able to do so. And it's all about winning that ball back when Charlton are in the final third. What can you do to affect the game? Can you spin one down the channel? That's what has really give them that buzz and that bit more of an edge.
That's Gilbert's header. Edmonds Green stretching and dealing with it at the second time of asking. Powerful header from Jones. The referee will have to bring play to a halt here. O'Neill was down, but he's back up and wants to get on with it.
A little bit of communication there from the Orient players, though. It shows that they're anxious, they want to get going, they want to get this game won, but three of them go for the same ball here. So, you know, even if one of them wins the header, you wonder where the spaces are going to be. They need to talk, they need to engage with each other, because although they're trying to do the right thing, stay calm. There's still a lot of time in this game to try and get back. We saw what happened yesterday. Calm yourselves down, you're in a good moment, make it happen.
There's Curry, driving forward, hitting the space. Kelman, that deflects and strikes the woodwork. Leyton Orient are getting closer and closer.
They have to engage, they have to keep going. The belief's starting to, and momentum starting to come. Kelman drops off, gets the ball, another fantastic block. And this one's Jones that gets his studs that just makes it ricochet off the top of the bar. So much better.
Another Leyton Orient corner. This time it's going straight in the box, and the flick header is over the top from Clare.
Oh, if the corner was one thing, but here we get Charlie Kelman, often known for his goals in the box, but he scored a worldie earlier in the season against Wigan. You see there, he just hits it really cleanly, but it's a deflection, just takes it up. Mannion is left beaten, but fortunately for him, it hits the bar and saves him from conceding a goal.
Well, we mentioned earlier on that he was taking a lot of flack criticism when he re-signed for Leyton Orient in the summer. He opened a folder on the camera roll on his phone, which was entitled The Roads to the Golden Boot, season 24-25. That was back at the start of the campaign. That's how much he was backing himself to silence the doubters. And with 27 goals this season, he's done just that. He almost had a 28th.
Well, he did. And that's because he's been able to affect the game. We looked at his touch map in that first half. He wasn't able to. As I said, it's all about having the ideas, having that information sometimes from your manager that might just tweak things. Can you adjust things? Can you affect the game? That's what he's done more so in this second half. So credit to Leyton Orient, they've responded well.
Right now, though, Charlton are protecting their lead. Double changes imminent from Nathan Jones. Karoy, Anderson and Tanai Watson will be coming on shortly. We're hearing Gilbert and Small will be the two to make way. The referee plays the advantages. Orient move up the gears again. Donnelly. Clare. Galbraith. There's Brown. Now we're shy. Again, trying to bulldoze his way through. He's wiped out just outside the box. Gilbert with that challenge. And Leyton Orient with this free kick in a real position of threat.
Yeah, it is, and this is so much better, isn't it? They're on the front foot, they're asking the question. I think I was asking for a handball there, but it's a foul that Gilbert that just comes out and engages, which he has to do so. And it's a blatant free kick, isn't it? This is a real good area for them to try and produce something.
Tell me how that's not a yellow card. He skipped past him and he's on the verge of potentially having a shot, and he doesn't give him a yellow card.
Well, one free kick is the difference right now. Scored at that end of the first half by Gillespie for Charlton. Kelman and Donnelly are the two who are standing over this for Leyton Orient.
I always look at positions of free kicks and always think, is it too close? What can you do? What can you do different?
Charlton preparing two changes here. Could the complexion of this game change here? It's Donnelly, the wall stands firm. Gilbert involved there. O'Neill trying to find a way through, but there is no way through. And Charlton do what Charlton do. They block out the opposition.
Well, they already had a big five-man wall, and it almost seemed, with even their block, they had another 4 or 5 in that line as well. So they just stood tall and defended the seconds. And it's great defending by Charlton.
Galbraith gets to that. O'Neill. Charlton fans now away to our left in the west end of Wembley, raising the volume here. They know their players need them right now to stand shoulder to shoulder with them, because they're up against it here.
Now this is the free kick. I mean, is it a big arm out there? And Gilbert looks like he just moves his arm away, but the change in personnel now for Charlton, and they need something. They need a bit of a reaction. They are under the cosh at the moment.
So here comes the double change. Off go Alex Gilbert and Thierry Small, and on come Tanai Watson, who should be a straight swap for Small in the right wing back role, and Karoy Anderson comes on too. Karoy Anderson, whose middle name is Zidane. No pressure. I wonder if anyone's got the middle names Lee and Hendry. So a double change being made here by Nathan Jones, who's looking to try and wrestle control back of this contest. Curry with the throw for Leyton Orient. Jones comes through the crowd. There goes Jack Curry again. Another Leyton Orient corner.
Yeah, they're really knocking on the door. I mean, listen, you have all this pressure, possession, trying to do the right thing to get into the game. He really needs to get that equalising goal that might just turn their fortunes.
The corner goes short. Here's O'Neill. Galbraith. There's Galbraith again. Anderson. Once again, a high starting position from Josh Keeley, who gets to the ball. And then Godden was struck.
And that is the danger, isn't it, when you have a lot of pressure, you're asking the questions, and the quick turnovers that are always there in football. Look at that, it's an open space that Godden's trying to run into, it just overcut from Anderson, but it's what Leyton Orient needs to be aware of. They can't switch off defensively for all the good bits of play they've had going forward in this second half. They have to be that strong mindset that there's always a danger man, and the danger man is Matty Godden.
Coventry's done well. Beckles in combat with Tyrese Campbell. Anderson has stepped in and won it back. Anderson. And now it's Doherty. That deflects. And Josh Keeley had to stretch with everything he's got.
Yeah, the go-go gadget arm come out there from Josh Keeley. I mean, this is just switching off, really lackadaisical here from Beckles, but they react to it. I mean, that is some defensive block on top. It's Claire, is it, that just takes the sting out of the shot, and it is. It's hard for the goalkeeper. He adjusts, he gets back and just tips it over the bar.
Well, that free kick may well have gone through him in the first half to give Charlton the edge. He had to get to that just to make sure it didn't drop into the back of the net. Charlton looking for a second goal here. Gillespie's got free. Jones trying to get there too. Likewise Ramsey. Well, an inviting ball again, and Gillespie was waiting at the far post, but was unable to connect.
What a ball, what a ball. This is a striker's dream, defender's dream if you're up there from the set piece. It's just how it bounces in the 6-yard area is beyond me. It just needs someone who's got a hunger and desire to throw themselves at that. What a cross it was.
Yeah, Gillespie right at the back post there, just couldn't get his leg around Omar Beckles, because even if he managed to stretch that leg out, he might have been able to send it back across the goal and create all sorts of problems for Josh Keeley.
It's Kane Ramsey who's down here for Charlton. He's now just about got back to his feet. Leyton Orient giving everything they've got in this second half not to let this chance passed them by. Charlton giving everything they've got to try and keep Orient at arm's length and try and add to their lead to seal this game and a place in the Championship.
I'm sure Richie Wellens would have said that half-time. Don't leave anything in here. Don't leave anything in it. This is a massive 45 minutes plus for us. We have to go out, we have to engage and ask the question. Let's not be disappointed. They've been better, haven't they, in this second half? They really showed a response.
The changes imminent from Leyton Orient. Don Ball and Tom James will be coming on shortly. Kelman. There's Clare. Now breaking a central position again, linking up with O'Neill. This is Clare again. Ajay. Ajay digs out the cross, but too much on it.
It's the same story again. He's been very one-dimensional. He's the one that's had that space to get 1v1 more often than the others. If he just goes down the right-hand side that one time, it might afford him the space onto his left foot, but he keeps doing the same thing, puts it into an area where there's nobody, and there's another chance missed lead.
Do you know what? I would love to have seen him then. Just when he got on that left foot, have a shot, have a strike at goal. You know, it might deflect off someone because you've got in so many good positions looking for a cross. You're entering the 18-yard box. It's hard to pick someone out.
So it's the end of the game for Jordan Brown and Sean Clare. The experienced Don Ball comes on, as does Tom James. We saw just how important substitutes are, getting more important these days in yesterday's playoff final in the Championship, and how they affected the game for Sunderland.
Yeah, they were massive, obviously. I think Patrick Roberts played a big part in the first goal, particularly, and also his experience coming onto the pitch.
Charlton on the front foot here. Oh, and there's a slip, which could lead to trouble. Godden. Ramsey.
Has Curry slipped there? It's always a bit of a worry there because he slipped and you try and redeem your mistake straight away, and he swung out with his left foot to kick the ball. Fortunately for him, he gets it, but with VAR we know how cute these attackers can be. If somebody just managed to get across him, easily could have been looking at a penalty call there.
Yeah, you do obviously don't think of them things because week in, week out you haven't got VAR, and as you said, there's sometimes the clumsy mistakes you make in the box, aren't they, just because you're trying to rectify what you've done wrong and slipped.
Well, we mentioned earlier, Richie Wellens did say his Leyton Orient players would have to defend differently today because VAR is an operation. Nathan Jones wasn't too fussed about it in that respect, from a Charlton perspective. All looking to try and react, and Leyton Orient do get the free kick.
Well, I have highlighted how well they've been and they've produced in this second half. Just look at that on target 0, and that's where, for all the good play you've had, you still really haven't tested Will Mannion in goal, have you? So they have to start producing something in these last 15 minutes or so, where they've got to test the goalkeeper minimum.
O'Neill. There's Ajay. Charlton again, bodies back in numbers. Ajay trying to make room for the cross. This time he lays the ball back towards Tom James. James again. 15 minutes to play. Charlton Athletic are 15 minutes away from a Championship return.
I tell you what, just watching on the side, Nathan Jones, he kicks every single ball that's out there, doesn't he? I think he's gone for a drink because surely he's getting dehydrated in this heat.
Well, as we mentioned before, Nathan Jones is relentless. If you play for him, you have to buy into that. He's shown before he can be successful. He put Luton on the path to the Premier League. Admits he failed at Stoke, didn't get a lot of time at Southampton, but struggled there. But at Charlton, he knew he'd have the chance to build the team and the club around him in his image, and that was vital for him to know, to take the job. Charlton had approached him before to offer him the managerial role, but he didn't feel the time was right at the time. This time it was right.
I think it's big, yeah. I think Nathan Jones at the clubs he's been at and he's had success, namely Luton Town, is culture. So if he's able to build the team in his identity, they all buy into what he does. Everyone around the building buys into what he does. He feels a lot more comfortable in that environment and ends up getting the best out of them.
Great ball from James to Donnelly. O'Neill closing in on this. Again, though, look how quickly the Charlton players got around him.
Massive chance there. The space he had, and Ollie O'Neill, such a good technical footballer. We saw his goal in the second leg against Stockport. Fancy him to get out of his feet and get the shot. Just doesn't quite get it under control. But opportunity missed by Leyton Orient again.
Well, the problem here for Tyrese Campbell. All changes imminent from Charlton here. Like Imbic about to come on and get his opportunity, and nod of the head as Nathan Jones has a word with him. And Tyrese Campbell will be withdrawn here, that's what we're hearing. Likewise, Matty Godden. So the front two could well be coming off here, that's what we're hearing. Chuck Saniki and Micah Imbic will be coming on. That's what Charlton have planned here.
Really interesting. I think Chuck Saniko, you know what he brings. He's got strength, he's got power, he's pacey. You know, maybe he's trying to see if he can hold the ball up, keep the ball up there, keep the team high up the pitch, but also when it does break away, he's got the pace and he's got the power to make sure that he's still testing that Orient back line, especially as they're in these later stages in the game where they need to be stretched. It's going to be a decent battle between himself and Omar Beckles.
I think Nathan Jones wants to make the changes. You always know what he's thinking. James. Doherty on the move. There's Edwards. Gillespie. It's his goal, which at the moment is sending Charlton to the Championship.
Yeah, it is, and it's end up being a cagey final 10 minutes or so.
So, confirmation of the double change here. Matty Godden, whose goals may well have laid the path for Charlton to get back to the Championship. He leaves the scene, 22 goals to his name this season. His season is over, and it's been quite a season. Chuck Saniki on to replace him, and Tyrese Campbell will be replaced by 18-year-old Micah Imbic. So a change to that Charlton front line.
Yeah, and this is where it's just really interesting to see, you know, the state of the game. Taking off your top goal scorer, someone that's been the second best scorer in English football this calendar year. So you know what this is about. It's about preserving the game, keeping the big man up top, get the ball up to him, hold on to the ball, strangle the game, and just take the game over the line now. And Nathan Jones knows how to do that really, really well.
He has. He's surrendered a lot of possession, hasn't he, throughout the game, really. I mean, more so in the second half. We've seen the possession stats all in favour for Leyton Orient, asking more questions, but I think it will now about being compact, solid, well organised. And as you said, Curtis, can we get it into Chuck Saniki up top, who will hustle, bustle, cause problems.
And Leyton Orient are making a change too. Omar Beckles is coming off. Dan Happy, who is fit again, he is on. And Ollie O'Neill is also withdrawn here. Randall Williams comes on to replace him. And Azim Abdullahi, a winter signing from Swansea, he comes on. And Dan Ajay will make way. So Richie Wellens is going for this. He has to go for it.
He has to. I think the fact listen, I know it's centre-half for centre-half. Dan Happe, more football in centre-half. Try and create things. Try and get the defenders on the front foot. And then you get the energy of Adelai and Williams trying to get that pace on the break, trying to get people that want to run at people, commit people, make something happen themselves. Because at the moment, as a team, they've tried to play the passes, they've tried to break the team down, but sometimes you just need that one person that can do something special and unlock the team.
We're hearing we've got a bit of an issue with the comments here between the officials.
You see Paul Terry there just saying, let's just play. Let's just play. We don't need comms. Let's get it on, because you want to get that momentum back. You've just got the subs on, and you want to get that momentum.
Yeah, integrity of the game, though. We need to make sure that they can all hear each other. There's a famous Leyton Orient face, Andrew Lloyd Webber, who was hoping Charlton would face the music today, but right now it is Leyton Orient, his Leyton Orient team, who could be suffering that sinking feeling at Wembley, but not those Charlton fans. This has become their routine. Come to Wembley, win. Unless Leyton Orient can come up with a dramatic moment late on here. Corley Gillespie's first half free kick. The difference right now. Leyton Orient have given it a real go in this second half. They struck the frame of the goal, but have been unable to find a way through.
This will be a bit of a disappointment for both sides, really. I think, if anything, more so for Leyton Orient, because they've just got a little bit of a rhythm and flow at the moment. They've brought the subs on, refresh things. The last thing you want as a player is to be stood still.
Well, once again, the power of the pyramid, the attendance here, just over 76,000 for this third-tier match, which right now is going the way of Charlton Athletic. And Richie Wellens is heading down the tunnel. The officials, well, the referee in particular, Andrew Kitchen, has made his way in to try and sort out the communication problem that they have. And Richie Wellens has made his way down the tunnel as the players move to the side. Curtis Davis, Lee just mentioned it, as a player, this kind of game, this kind of occasion, how much would this affect you?
Of course, because both teams have just made substitutions. Charlton will want to implement what they want to do. They want to get Chuks and Ike in the game, get them touches, but this is just, you know, unfortunately, because it's down to comms. It's not, you know, if a referee gets an injury, sometimes you're like, okay, fair enough. It's down to comms, which is frustrating for them. But these players have come on the pitch. They want to get going. They want to get themselves going. You see here, they're having a little kick around just to keep themselves warm. 85th minute of the game, the worst time possibly where you could have someone get injured, or obviously the comms issue. You know, they don't want to get cramped. They don't want to get stiff, so they have to keep themselves moving.
Kevin Friend and Mike Jones are both down there. There's always drama in the playoffs. There's always something going on. Richie Wellens has come back out. Just gone in to listen to you, Curtis. But this, the big moment, this could be the match-winning moment.
Yeah, I know. You know what? We said it again at half-time. I think the disappointment is, you know, we look at when you go inside the wall and it's a more central strike. You can see it from a goalkeeper's point of view. I think if it's round the wall, Kurtz, you touched on that, didn't you? It's a different prospect for him. You could possibly defend him, but you can't really defend the goalkeeper in that point, and that the way you see the view of it.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because as a defender, if you're the one that possibly sets up the wall and he asks for 4 people, you're not going to question him on it. He believes he knows his angles, he knows what he wants. But having seen it in hindsight now, as a young goalie, did he quite get it right? Did he maybe back himself to make the save more than just doing the right thing and putting the fifth man in? Because you know it's a shooting angle. You don't need the extra man at the back post. If you have an extra man in that wall, there's a right footer, there's a left footer. You cover both angles, but you give yourself that extra man. And the fact that, like I say, it's gone on the inside and he's been able to bend it outwards, it's a really disappointing one for Leyton Orient and Josh Keeley.
Well, VAR are just saying that they can hear Andrew Kitchen. And they can also hear the assistant referee, Blake Antrobus, as well. So that may well have been the reason for the stoppage. And the restart is a throw-in, and from one stride further back.
I was about to say one stride. I think it was one cut of the grass, really, because he seemed to be about to take a long throw-in into the box a second ago. But yeah, it definitely was further back when we were standing a second ago.
Right, we are good to go. That was around about 8 minutes. And stoppage in play. So here we go again. And a chance for both sets of players to gather their thoughts during that break.
Said about it being 8 minutes, a lot of players at this stage, you look up at the clock, remember you've still got that time. There's not a rush, there's not a mad rush, there's all that injury time plus whatever else has happened with the substitution, stuff like that. Be calm, be patient. There's still a good probably 15 minutes in this game. Make sure you make those moments count.
Well, we said before, there is usually late drama when these two meet. This season in particular. Aniki went for it. Well, Keeley was alive to it, guarding his near post.
Yeah, he had to be alive as well, didn't he? Because it's a shot of nothing, really. And credit to Chutsaniki. He gets that ricochet off Edmonds Green, and he just thinks, I'm taking this on. There's not a lot of options in the box. I'll take a punt here.
Obviously, we spoke about him coming on to maybe conserve the game, but he's nearly pulled out of an excellent moment there. But Keeley was on hand to make sure nothing came of it.
Yeah, he does like to make an impact as a substitute, Chutsaniki. Edwards with this corner for Charlton Athletic. Umbick trying to cause problems for Leyton Orient. Here's Doherty. Goes behind. Charlton wanting a corner. Goal kick is the outcome. So we've still got a healthy chunk of time to play in this game, which will encourage Leyton Orient, not so Charlton Athletic. Additional minutes. One side of Wembley encouraged, the other not so. Foul by Randall Williams. That's confirmation of what we were saying when these two meet. Drama happens late.
Yep, so there's still a chance for Leyton Orient, or Charlton could get a second, so we don't know what we're going to get, but Orient needs to do better there. Randall Williams just on the ball there, waiting for somebody to come and help him out. Didn't help him out, ends up giving the foul and gives a chance to slow down the game again. Send men forward, get it into their box and make Leyton Orient be on the back foot rather than the front foot where they want to be.
Gillespie with a free kick. Once again, it's those from South London making the noise inside Wembley as they try and carry their team home and carry their team back to the Championship. It was Patrick Bauer's late winner that did it here against Sunderland back in 2019. Williams. Leyton Orient need a hero here. Williams trying to provide that heroic moment, but he slips, and it comes to nothing.
Yeah, I feel like I'm echoing myself. It's really like for like, isn't it? I know they've changed the dynamics of bringing different players on. Randall Williams there, again, straight into the goalkeeper's gloves. It's too easy. It really is. They have to be patient. Curtis touched on that. It doesn't have to be just thrown in there.
Well, Lloyd Jones, yellow card a few moments ago, and look who's here. Alan Kirbishley, the man who took this team, this club to the Premier League. A Charlton athletic icon. Also a playoff winner as a manager at Charlton Athletic. Is Nathan Jones about to add his name to that list? He's still wearing that jumper.
I've seen him in that a few times as well.
He told me once to stop mentioning that, so I have.
It might be his good luck charm. So
I think it is.
Give him that.
I do think it is. Sorry, Lee, if you're watching this back later. Edwards. Throw-in goes the way of Leyton Orient. They still have time to rescue this. Let's not forget what happened to Leyton Orient after they last lost the League One playoff final in 2014 when they plummeted into non-league football. Not only that, they were close to extinction. Nigel Travis arrived, a Leyton Orient fan, to rescue the club and save the club. And it was the late Justin Edinburgh who restored them to being an EFL club again. Today they're back in the League One playoff final. Are they about to suffer the same fate, though, in this final?
They need something magical to happen. They need something of quality, just one moment of quality might just draw this game level. Let's credit Charlton, I tell you. And in the second half, all they've done basically is sit back on their haunches, defend. I mean, it hasn't been pretty at times, but you know what Nathan Jones has got on his mind. He wants to see this through, and getting that early goal, I'm sure that stayed in his mind, and that's why they've dropped into a real solid formation now.
Well, in-house, the minimum target this season for Charlton was top 6. They finished 16th in League One last season, their lowest position in almost a century, in 98 years. Are they heading back to the Championship? They're on course as they look to try and see this out. Curry. Edmonds Green, who was a Charlton player at the start of this season. James. Well, the referee quite rightly having to stop play as Doherty got in the way of that.
A huge frustration there because they set up the long throw and Randall Williams takes it short, but the ball just hits the first man. You're sending up your big centre-halves, you're sending everyone forward to try and have this last go. If you're going to take the time and slow the game down, do it properly. In the end, it's come to nothing. Charlton are able to slow the game down again, calm it down, and listen, Randall Williams has got another shot at it, but it's wasteful.
Doherty's back on his feet. It's his dad's birthday today. When they qualified for the final, he told his dad, cancel your plans, get down to Wembley. Williams with the throw, it does go in that time. On by James. James again. What do Leyton Orient have left in the tank here? James again. Happy. Stolen back. Roy Anderson on the move. Mbic's up there with him. Chuksaniki too. But the chance gone.
Tom James will breathe a sigh of relief there because he's given the ball away so needlessly. Unfortunately for him, the composure of Dan Happ there gets him out of trouble, and now Leyton Orient on the attack.
Charlton again flooding bodies back, but they've conceded the free kick. Ramsey again has a problem with cramp by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's a decent foul, shall we say, as a defender. You have to make the tackle there. If you can't get the ball, you've got to slow him down, bring it down. But Leyton Orient make their move forward. Whilst I say you've got to be patient, there's 4 minutes left in the game. Get yourself set up, get this ball in the box. But it's all about the zones afterwards. On the second phase of the long throw-in, too many players were looking to go and get the ball outside the box. Stay in there, congest the box, make it difficult for Charlton, because when the balls were coming back in, too easy for them to defend. Let's see what they do on this one.
Donnelly, who provided surely the greatest assist of the season against Manchester City earlier this season, when his lob hit the bar and went in off Ortega, didn't get the goal, got the assist. He's standing over this. Lifted in by Donnelly, and Mannion once again gets to it. A huge roar from the Charlton fans.
I don't think it's coming from the Leyton Orient fans, is it? That's really, really poor, really poor. I mean, we are at touch and distance of a final whistle. You've got to be asking more questions. You've got every single player forward, and look who comes to claim. Credit to the goalkeeper, Mannion. He comes out and he engages and dictates his box, but it's a routine catch for him.
Once again, Randall Williams with an opportunity to throw this right at the heart of Charlton Athletic. Leyton Orient need a wrecking ball here through this Charlton defence. In it goes from Williams. Again, it's a Charlton head that gets to it. Gillespie, it was who got to it. Williams trying to do damage with his feet that time, and Mannion again holds on.
He's been solid back there. Whenever he's been called upon, he hasn't been tested as much as Orient would have liked, but he comes and he realises that he's got to get back on his line. It just falls into his gloves yet again. Just been the story of the game.
Yeah, just a smart call to just not get involved. Not get involved. It's going to be a difficult header from that distance. Takes that step back, and unfortunately for Dan Happy, it just goes straight into his hands.
I just feel that looking at the game now, it feels like they're just running out of ideas, aren't they? They're coming up against a solid defence. Let's not forget how good defensively Charlton have been this season. You know, they're coming up against a real solid back unit. And they thrive off them balls that are coming into the box, whether it's the throw-in or it's a cross.
Well, it's coming down to this. Charlton are within touching distance. The championship is calling. James. Time running out for Leyton Orient. Moved on by Galbraith. Away by Edwards. Williams ball in, and that should be Mannion's. It is Mannion's.
Unbelievable. I mean, Richie Wellens must be absolutely pulling his hair out, surely, because so many good positions where they can put delivery into the box far too cheaply. That's been the disappointment. I know we keep saying it, but it's been such a disappointment.
Well, Richie Wellens just asked how long. He got the answer, not much longer, and he just shook his head. Leyton Orient just cannot win at Wembley. They won 2 league games here in the 1930s, unable to win here since. Charlton's time could be coming again. Charlton fans urging for the referee to blow his whistle. He does! Charlton Athletic are headlining Wembley again. This new generation Jones, who's had to rebuild at times his management career. He's walked into Charlton, he's rebuilt Charlton, he's rejuvenated Charlton, and he has returned Charlton to the Championship.
Yeah, Charlton deserved it today on the balance of the way they tactically saw out this game. Leyton Orient a lot better in the second half, on the front foot a lot of the time. Charlton were happy to soak that up, but Orient couldn't get that shot on target, couldn't get the right cross. The detail they really lacked today, but ultimately, similarly to yesterday, it came down to the moments. The detail on the moments, and the big moment came from Macaulay Gillespie, and he wins the game for him 1-0.
Yeah, he doesn't. I think you've just hit the nail on the head, Curtis. I think you look at both sides. Yes, Leyton Orient were pretty on the approach. They lacked real quality in the final third, and that's what didn't give them any chance of getting back into this game. It really didn't. You're coming up against a solid back unit who will surrender possession. We know Nathan Jones, what he does with his teams, he's happy to let teams have the ball, defend, work hard, counter-attack. And as you said, it's one moment of quality from Gillespie that's got the goal and got them the promotion. There's always got to be a hero, and that's your man.
Macaulay Gillespie's free kick doing the damage, sending Charlton Athletic back to the Championship and sending Leyton Orient back to League One. They packed their bags, they were in the departure lounge, but it's Charlton Athletic who've been called forward to take their place back into the second tier of English football. Tears again at Wembley for Leyton Orient. Last time they plummeted and got themselves a one-way ticket to near oblivion. But Leyton Orient off the pitch this time have a bright, bright future with bright owners. But that shouldn't happen again. But they will have to rebuild after what's happened to them here today. For Charlton, their future is in the Championship thanks to Gillespie's goal. Macaulay Gillespie scoring the winner and finding a way into the back of the Leyton Orient net. Let's get some reaction. Let's hear from Nathan Jones.
Nathan, how does it feel to take Charlton into the Championship?
This isn't relief, this is euphoria now. We've had the battle, we've had a camp. We didn't play well today, we just defended really, really well. But those are the principles we instilled. And to win a game here, keep a clean sheet. So happy. Bit of relief, but majority of it is euphoria and pride for the work that they've done. You see the headers we've won, balls. This is a good Leyton Orient side. They've hardly had a chance on goal, and that's just down to our defensive responsibility. I'm so proud of the club. Look at it, so proud of this club, great club. I came here, wanted to build something, took a gamble, dropping the division, 2 divisions, actually, my last job was Premier League. I knew we could build something. It's the first step. Now we kick on.
It's a collective effort though, isn't it? You put the hours in at the training ground, your players believe in you, you've had the support of the board, and look at these fans.
Oh, it's outstanding. We put the work in. Staff put the work in, players buy into game plans, sacrifice everything. Families, everyone sacrifices. This is the reward.
Well done today, Nathan.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, he said it was a gamble stepping down to League One, having been a Premier League manager not that long ago, but it's a gamble that has paid off for Nathan Jones. He will be managing in the Championship next season with Charlton Athletic. Look at these moments here at Wembley. A sea of red, and it is the Charlton supporters who are enjoying their day in the sun and can start looking forward to the Championship next season. Heartbreak, though, for Leyton Orient. Let's just bring in a Charlton legend, shall we? Jason Newell, one of our guests here this afternoon. Jason, your old club are back in the Championship. Euphoria and pride was what Nathan Jones just said. How are you feeling?
No, exactly the same. He said I was here in 2019 experiencing it, and then to see it again, and with the season that they've done, it's well deserved, and now it's looking forward to next season, the Championship. Well played, everyone involved.
We're going to get straight back to Johnny Phillips for more reaction. Johnny.
Macaulay, how does it feel to get the winner at Wembley?
Oh, it's the best feeling ever. I can't describe it, man. As soon as the free kick was there, I fancied it and I stepped up, and hopefully and thankfully it went in. Buzzing.
You must have known how big the club was before you came here, but to see these scenes now, does it bring it all home?
It's massive, man. It's a massive club, and now we're back to the Championship where it belongs as well, so hopefully we can do well there and kick on.
You've had some journey as well, coming through Newcastle's academy, even going out to Australia to continue to your career. Is this the best of the lot?
I think it definitely is, yeah. 100%. A free kick at Wembley and a win. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
What sort of team effort has it taken to do this?
Massive, massive. Everyone's involved, all the staff, all the players, everyone's been involved this season. And this is what we'll get the rewards, and it's fantastic.
And do you feel it's something you can kick on from now?
Absolutely, yeah. The squad's class. I'm sure the gap will make it even better next season and kick on.
The manager seems to have got all the belief together with all the players. Does it feel like this huge collective effort?
Yeah, that's just what he does. That's what he's best at. And yeah, like you say, it's one big effort and we've done it. So buzzing, man, buzzing.
Well done, Mo Coley.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers.
Charlton doing what Charlton do. They come to Wembley and they win. It's a 4th successive playoff final success. Yet again, they win at the National Stadium thanks to that man, Macaulay Gillespie. That's the most famous left foot in southeast London right now. Des Buckingham, this was you a year ago. You were Nathan Jones when you led Oxford to victory here. I'm sure it takes you back seeing this, but what are they going through right now?
A combination of emotion. It'll be relief because you worked so hard throughout the whole season, long season, and to be able to arrive, and I think we spoke at the start, you know, everybody wants to go up, everyone wants to win. If you can win here at Wembley, I don't think there's many better ways to get promoted, and you know, you certainly see that, and we certainly enjoyed ourselves this time last year.
Phil, Orient did have their chances. They had that spell in the second half. They hit the bar, but overall, how well did Charlton manage this game?
Yeah, they were strong, they were functional, they blocked shots, they doubled up in wide areas, and Orient did have a good spell. They did a lot better second half. It was just the final ball let them down, but credit to Charlton. They did what they've been doing all season. They're very, very difficult to break down and always offer that threat on the counter.
The Charlton players are just walking behind us here in our presentation point, and Jason was getting big hugs from a number of the players. A special day for everyone. I mean, Joby, there's two sides to every story, and you know, Leyton Orient has been your club. You've led this team to promotion. You know how it feels in the good times, you know how it feels in the tough times. They always say in big games, don't come off the pitch with any regrets. Will they have any regrets?
I think maybe just that first half, but listen, it was cagey, it was tight, what we expected, and you're not expecting them to come out and be gung-ho. I thought Charlton did a great job of just taking their strengths away from them, particularly on the transitions. They defended deep, and it just took them a little while to work out they might need a different style to try and win the game. I thought second half they came out really strongly, but I just felt, again, Charlton weathered that storm once that first 15, 20 minutes was out the way, and that'll be the disappointment. Maybe those front boys that have been so good this season weren't able to find that bit of quality. Anything in and around the box, the crossing just lacked a little bit of productivity, and they have had it in spades this year. So I think that will be the overall disappointment for Richie today. But this is the bigger picture for Leyton Orient. The club's in a great place. You referenced where it was last time it lost here. Completely different, and hopefully for the club the future is very bright.
And of course for Charlton Athletic, this is them moving back on up after 5 years of trying to get out of League One. Phil, they will be a championship team like your good self and Wrexham and Birmingham next season. How competitive a division are they going to find?
Yeah, listen, it's going to be really strong, and you know, but they'll grace the division. Charlton, like I said, they're a team who's been in the Premiership before under the Alan Kirkby years, and their supporters see themselves as a Premiership club. So good for them to be back in the Championship, like ourselves in Birmingham. We've both got to improve to go and compete at that level.
And I said before the ball was kicked today that running out at Wembley, Jason, is every young footballer's dream. For these players now, they're about to receive the promotion trophy. They know they'll be in the Championship this season. How special is this moment? How much do they need to enjoy every second of it?
They have to. Like I said before this game started, it doesn't happen too often, especially when you've got like the younger players that's come through the academy. They've seen the pathway that they can have coming into this football club, and now for them to experience it at Wembley and getting promoted, it's brilliant. And I think that's now looked at for the next generation to be looking at the ones coming through, the ones that's in front of them now.
Yeah, and before you know it, in a couple of months from now, they'll be experiencing Championship football. But right now, the experience, the emotions are euphoria, joy, absolute elation, and it's time for them to get their hands on the silverware that proves that they will be Championship next season. Let's rejoin your commentary team for this trophy presentation as Nathan Jones and his team make their final walk up the steps. It's back to Lee, Curtis and Gary.
Yes, thank you, Jules. Nathan Jones walking up Wembley's walkway to the stars, followed by his Charlton Athletic players. Charlton wanted him a few months before they finally got him. They made the approach. He said no. He didn't feel the time was right. They came calling again in February of last year. This time the time was right, and he knew that he would have the freedom to build the team, the club, in his image. He set Luton Town on the pathway to glory. Now he's led these players back to the second tier of English football. And he's still dishing out instructions, Curtis.
Yeah, he's still leading that team, but he's been fantastic. Like I say, he came here, the humility of him to say, we didn't play well today, but we defended well. We know what to do, and it's credit to him for that, because, yeah, he's been fantastic with him.
Matty Godden there with him too. From the depths of the valley to the top of the playoff mountain, football's most famous landmark shakes to the sound of Charlton Athletic joy again. It's what happens here when Charlton Athletic come here. Wembley, it's Charlton Athletic's playground again. They are a championship club again.
Yeah, and credit to them. I mean, credit to everything that goes into a season. I mean, it's a commiserations for Leyton Orient. Really had a great season under Richard Williams. They'll go again, but it's all about Charlton and what they've produced today. They've dug deep. They've showed fight. They've showed character all season. Particularly in the back end of this season, where they've done a fabulous run. They've kept that momentum going. And listen, there's nothing wrong with winning up here. You have to defend gamely. This is a one-off game that takes you to where you've got to be to, and that is the championship. That was the aim. And as we said there, that's one step forward for them to go again.
You said about winning ugly. I've played at this stadium, and I've won and I've lost. And I tell you, winning feels a lot better than losing the game here. The occasion is for the fans. The day out is all for the fans. When you come here and lose, it's devastation. When you come here and win, it's ecstasy.
Nathan Jones standing proudly on the royal balcony of Wembley. Wembley's walkway to the stars, and Nathan Jones has led Charlton Athletic back to the championship. Second tier football will be at the Valley again. It's the least that Charlton Athletic expect. They are there. They have won the League One playoff final.
What a moment for Nathan Jones, for those Charlton players and the 40,000 or so Charlton fans who made the short journey here to Wembley today, which, as Gary said, has become sort of home from home. They've had so much success here down the years, and there is Nathan Jones now clutching on tightly and proudly to that silverware, that trophy that confirms promotion from League One, with his winner's medal round his neck. And you know, Phil, we heard from Nathan Jones before the game, and he was talking about the ups and downs in his career, the success at Luton, but the disappointments at Stoke and then at Southampton, and how he regretted what had happened there. So for him personally, what will this mean today?
Absolutely immense. You know, you've got to have been a manager to understand the emotions you go through during the season. Managers not always plain sailing, unless you're Pep, where everything goes. Managers have ups and downs, you get sacked, you have relegations and well, but sometimes you've got to rebuild yourself, you know, from in, and he's done that fantastically well with his job, and he should be very proud of his achievements, because no one helps you in football. It's a ruthless industry. Sometimes you've got to pick yourself up and go again, and that's what Nathan's done.
Yeah, I mean, Des, I'm sure you can see the same point of view there as well, as a man who's tasted victory here. But is it the hard times, the knocks, the things that don't go so well that you also learn from?
Yeah, I know he's been a lot of different places, and obviously the move to Southampton didn't work out, neither did Stoke. But that's a real test of character, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's very emotional. But he brings people on board, and that's certainly what he's done in his time since he's been here. And you know, when people go with you, you get the outcomes that they've just achieved now.
What a day for Charlton Athletic, what a day for Nathan Jones. There he is, his first promotion via the playoffs as a manager. They can look forward to championship football next season. It's heartbreak for Leyton Orient. We'll discuss what this means for them as well, but it's all about Charlton and promotion. After 5 years in League One, they are back in the second tier. And this is the moment that proves it. Much more reaction as Charlton are promoted coming from Wembley after the break. Two London rivals going head-to-head for promotion, and it is Charlton Athletic who have stepped up. They have moved from League One. They will be Championship next season. Scenes of celebration and delight here inside Wembley Stadium after beating Leyton Orient 1-0. And if ever a picture told a story, it is this scene we're seeing behind us of absolute delight. And this man here has played a key part of it, the man who got them to the final, Matty Godden. Congratulations. First things first, I can smell the champagne on you. How was that moment?
Yeah, incredible. This is what everyone wants to be part of, these moments, and fortunately it was us today, and yeah, no, we're going to enjoy tonight.
Now listen, you've tasted both sides of this, haven't you? You were here a couple of years ago and it didn't go your way. Yeah. Very different feeling.
Yeah, no, I said to the lads and my family that I'm not coming here again and losing, and yeah, I thought we deserved a win over 90 minutes, and yeah.
Now listen, all the talk before this game was it's Godden against Kelman. One of those are going to settle this game. In the end, it was Gillespie from a set piece. He's stolen the headlines.
Yeah, he has, yeah, and to be fair, we know that he's got that in his locker, and he's got a wonderful left foot, and no one really expects the centre-halves to come up and take the free kicks on 20 yards out, but we know that with his quality, he's fully capable of that, and yeah, it's got us over the line today.
Matty, don't know if you can hear me, but we go back a long way. Obviously had a season at Stevenage. Did you think back then, going to Charlton and having a moment like this was ever going to be possible, given your own journey in the game and getting back into the professional game?
Yeah, no, it's what I've worked so hard my whole career to try and have these moments, and I've always believed in myself as a goal scorer, and leaving Stevenage when I did, and building my career up the leagues, I set myself a target at the start of this season. I said to the gaffer, I'll take the step down, but I want to go back up to the level that I've left, and we've achieved it in the first year.
Just a quick one, Matty. In terms of the change room and the environment that it is, a lot of young players, new players that's come in. You're sort of the senior one now. How's that mix been to sort of, when you was in that lower reaches of the league, to get to where you guys now? What's happened in terms of the change room environment?
I think we've just we've got so much talent here at Charlton. Obviously, you've worked there yourself, and it's just trying to calm them down a little bit at times as well, because they were getting like the build-up and the hype of the game. But my job is just to encourage them, try and get them to go and show 76,000 what they can do, and that's all I've done, is just try and give them the platform to go and do what they do.
Matty, we're not going to keep you any longer because there's some great scenes. I know you want to be part of the party, so congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Great to see you.
Well done.
Matty Godden there. Looking forward to playing back in the Championship, where he was just a year or two ago with Coventry as well, after playing a key part in this promotion to the Championship. And Des, what awaits them in the Championship next season?
Well, there'll be lots of challenges, but I think they can enjoy this first. You know, I think they've shown different ways that they can play under Nathan. You look, I didn't want to say at half-time, but they've had 20 clean sheets this year. That was their 21st, you know, and that's what's got them the game. They've got many different ways of doing it. They can enjoy that, and the beautiful thing is that's the first time. That's not the first time. They've scored first and not lost or gone on to lose the game this season. 29 and 30 games where they haven't gone on to lose. So, you know, many different ways. Let them enjoy this moment, which I'm sure they will, and then next year we'll chuck its own challenges.
And as you said, another clean sheet, not a single goal conceded in these playoffs, and a main reason for that is the man in goal. Will Mannion is alongside Johnny Phillips.
Will, these are incredible scenes. What does it mean to you?
Oh, I've got no words. I'm speechless. You know, I'm so proud of these lads. Everyone at the club, the staff, the players. They've just put in such a shift this season, and it's been tough at times, but yeah, they're all fantastic people, and I couldn't be prouder.
It was a shift today as well. You got the goal, but also you had to do a lot of defending too, didn't you?
Yeah, we were under the cosh a little bit second half. We had to defend our box very well, and luckily we hung on, and there we go.
Did that sum up perhaps the work ethic and the commitment of the team, that you were able to dig it out today? You really ground it out?
So I didn't know the first part of the question, but that's what we are. We pride ourselves on clean sheets, and that's a big part of what's got us to where we are today, is that defensive mindedness.
It also seems that Leyton Jones has brought the squad together, got everyone in the right direction as well. Does it feel like a club really pulling in the right direction?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, look at the togetherness, everyone. It's just everyone's on the right page, and he's done absolute wonders since coming in. So we couldn't be happier.
Charlton Athletic is a big club, but does this just illustrate how big it is?
Yeah, massive. You know, I knew when I signed it was a massive club, and we wanted to get back to where we thought we belong. And today we've taken a big step towards doing that.
It took a long time to turn things round, but does it feel now you've got the forward momentum and you can go on from this?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I think we fancy ourselves whatever league and whatever team we play. Yeah, it's only up for the Addicts.
Days like this, they don't come around too often as well. Is it something that everybody's got to savour?
Yeah, 100%. It's not really sunk in yet, and I don't think it will, but I'm just going to try and enjoy it as much as I can and remember as much as I can as well.
A Wembley clean sheet, it doesn't get much better than that personally either, does it?
If I woke up this morning, anytime I get a clean sheet, then I'll snap your hand off, yeah.
Brilliant, well done, Will.
Cheers, mate, thanks.
Yes, 23 clean sheets during the season and in the semi-finals and the final itself. That is a large reason why Charlton will be playing in the Championship. I'm led to believe Leyton Jones is going to be with us very shortly indeed. But I suppose, Joby, when you've got a defence that solid that you rely on so much, once you get your noses in front, that must just give you great confidence.
Yeah, and it was almost fitting that was the way they were going to win today, given how well they've done defensively this season. But again, what I really, really like about Nathan is just sets his team up. There's no apologies about, you know, making things hard for the opposition. I think we live in a world, Jules, where everyone wants to look like they're playing perfect football all the time. There's so many different ways to win games, and particularly at this stage of the season, being tight defensively, being organised, getting everybody to buy in is so important, and he's had that all throughout this season, and huge testament to him to finding the way and having the success that he has here.
Here he is, the man himself. Leyton Jones joins us. Many congratulations, Nathan. Joby was just singing your praises and talking about what this means to the club, but also the defensive solidity in your team. I think it's a 23rd clean sheet in the league and playoffs.
Yeah, look, I didn't think we were as fluent as we have been. But if you're not fluent and you can't really create the load, you just got to not concede. And we've been built on doing the basics well. You have to do that at any level, but you have to do it at this level. And then we've always got opportunities, we've always got players that can score goals. Today we weren't as fluent, but clean sheet was enough, one goal was enough, and really, really proud.
And listen to those 40,000 Charlton fans. You've done this for them, you and your team have done this. How does that feel?
This club adds, Parky'll know, you'll know, in terms of this club is just ready to go. It's an ex-Premier League club, the infrastructure's there. When I came, I didn't feel like I was coming to manage in League One. I felt I was coming to manage Charlton, and I came because of this, because of the potential that was in it, that if we did good work as a staff, we all bought into everything, the owners are good, the fans would respond to that, and then the days like today are priceless.
So is that the ultimate ambition, get this club back to the top flight?
Oh, absolutely, it has to be. Like, if you don't strive for that, regardless of who you are, then why are you doing it, you know? And at Luton, I've had a couple of difficult spells in football, but I've had some real good ones where I was able to build something, and we've started that here. We're 16 months into a journey now, and you know, Phil would tell you what it's like to build something, to have time to do that. He's done doing that at his club now, and we want to build that, and you can see the fans will respond, the club's there, just need a bit of God's will.
It's your second promotion as a manager, it's your first through these playoffs. They say it's the best way to go up. Do you agree?
I don't know, I didn't hear what you said there, but I think...
Is it the best way to go up the playoffs?
Well, he might have a different thing. He's been to Vegas and he's had 3 weeks holiday. But for days, for pure one-off day, there's nothing like it, purely nothing like it. I've been very fortunate. I think I've had 7 or 8 playoff campaigns as a player, as an assistant manager, as a manager, and this ultimately is the best. I've been promoted as a player at the Millennium Stadium, didn't get promoted here, we lost here, but this is the best day of my football life, yeah.
Wow. And it's your birthday on Wednesday as well, isn't it? It's your birthday on Wednesday?
My birthday on Wednesday, yeah.
What are your plans?
I'm not sure I'll remember it, if I'm honest, but well, look, we'll start the party now, we'll have a couple of days, but the cliche is you have to start work again. We're 3 weeks behind everyone else now. So now we have to start planning, because now we've gone up a level, everything has to go up a level now.
Well, is that an actual practical fact? You've had plan A and you've had plan B on the table for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, well, we've lined everything up. Now we can execute certain stuff now. So we have planned in the background for certain eventualities, and now we have to execute that. We'll have a good night tonight. I don't know about tomorrow yet, but then we'll then move forward.
Nathan, just a quick one in terms of your own relationship. It's been difficult at times with these fans. Just want to go back to that match against Leyton Orient, where you won late. We saw you jump into the crowd. I felt like for you, that was that connecting moment, and it's really gone from there. It's ironic that tonight is the night that you're going to really...
Well, if I'm honest, there's three connecting points, because we lost to them in the Virtue Trophy, and all I was hearing was taxi for Jones. Literally, those were the quotes. Like, taxi for Jones and stuff like that. Then we had to bounce back. We beat Birmingham. We started to build some things. Then, yes, we had a big win away from home against them, which galvanised that relationship. And then it's ironic that we have to win here to probably take that big step forward.
And you'll be facing this man in the Championship next season. How much are you two looking forward to that, Phil?
Yeah, we'll be competing all summer for the same players, I'm sure, Nath. But the battle starts now, like he says. The recruitment starts, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer for both clubs.
I'm just glad he's talking to me now. He was growling at me a month ago, so I'm glad he's talking to me.
Listen, we wish you all the best, Nathan. Many congratulations. Enjoy your birthday, enjoy your summer. Thank you very much indeed. Nathan Jones saying his farewells. Thank you, Nathan. Having sealed promotion to the Championship, he'll be there with Phil, of course, in the Championship next season. What a day it has been for everyone connected to Charlton Athletic. 5 years they've waited to get a day like this, to get back to the second tier of English football, and they have done it. 9 long months of the season, and in the end it all came down to one goal. A free kick from Macaulay Gillespie is the goal that has sealed their place, and that is what it means. Charlton Championship once again. Much more reaction coming next.
It's Gillespie! To do that at a place like this, on a day like this, is what dreams are made of! Charlton Athletic are headlining Wembley again! This new generation are carrying on old habits, and they're carrying this club back to the Championship!
The goal that sent the Charlton fans wild and sent the club back to the Championship. Macaulay Gillespie and Greg Doherty. Let's hear from both of them now, alongside Johnny Phillips.
Macaulay, these are some scenes, Macaulay. Could you ever have imagined this when perhaps earlier this season you weren't the highest in the table?
Nah, to be fair, like, we've always backed ourselves to go as far as we can this season, and to be fair, it's been a bit of a turnaround since Christmas, and it's done unbelievable, man. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And for you to score a free kick like that on the biggest stage, what does that mean?
I can't even describe it, to be honest with you. I can't even describe it. Now, listen, it's one of those, it was there and I stepped up and I fancied it, so sometimes I hit the ball, sometimes I go over, and thankfully it went in.
Well, let's bring the captain in, Greg. A lot of hard work's gone into this, I imagine.
Unbelievable. You know, we were written off a lot, we've had to go through a lot. At the start of the season, we were a new team, we were gelling, we were up and down, but from December onwards, honestly, we've been so proud, like we've won so many games, we've been so consistent, we've bounced back. I mean, look at this, like this club deserves this, and us, like, we've been able to deliver it. It won't sink in for a long time.
Does this give you a sense of just how big the club is?
Yeah, well, we knew it, we all knew it signing for Charlton, but there's been so many players in the past that have signed here, and they've wanted this, but we've actually gone and done it. We've put the work in, the manager believed in it, spoke to a lot of us in the summer when we signed, and we all bought into the project. We believed in him and he believed in us, and we've delivered on the biggest stage. Look, today showed how resilient we are. We got a result, clean sheet at Wembley, clean sheet over the 3 playoffs. Unbelievable.
Macaulay, does this show a combination of belief, commitment, work ethic, everything gelling at the same time?
Of course it does, yeah, of course it does. We're a really hard working team, and that's shown today. You know, we weren't at our best, to be honest, but we put in the shift, we got the goal and we kept the clean sheet, and that's the main thing for us.
Well, great performances all round, but Macaulay, you're the Sky Bet player of the match. Will you do the honours, Greg? And there's 2 honours as it's Wembley. There's also the EA Sports player of the match too.
Give us some picture of that, innit?
Go on, one more thing.
Dad, happy birthday!
Did he make it here?
He did, he's up there, he's crying. Happy birthday, I don't have a present, this is it.
Well done.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
I think seeing your lads play his part in a success at Wembley is a present enough. Craig Doherty, and this is what it means. What a gift it is for these Charlton fans who've been through some tough times, haven't they, in recent years. It's taken 5 years to get back to the Championship, and they are loving every single minute. They didn't want to go anywhere really, but they have just started to file away out of the stadium, away from their seats behind us, and head for home. And what a day they will have had. And in the end, Jason Ewell, you know, I said before, 9 long months. 49 games it's been, and it all comes down to one kick of a football. And that hero is Macaulay Gillespie, who's going to write himself in Charlton folklore now.
No, and that's brilliant, because you said you always want to round off the season on that good note. We know there's always going to be a team that's going to be disappointed, but all the work that you've put in, and then to come out of it at the end and you can go say it was worth it because we got over the line, we're now promoted, and for the club it's now the Championship.
Let's have another look at the goal that won it then, Des. And, you know, from a Charlton perspective, lovely finish from him, but how much will Leyton Orient, how much is this going to eat away at them the way they conceded it?
Yeah, when we spoke at the start and talked about set plays and the importance of them because of how close these two teams were coming in, I thought it'd more so come from a corner or maybe a free, you know, an indirect free kick. But I think on reflection they'll look and maybe another one in that wall to give them just a bit more cover. It's easy to say on reflection, but for that to be the goal that wins it, delight for Charlton for that.
And they've defended these all season long. Do you know, Phil, this is the first goal they've conceded from a direct free kick all season long.
Yeah, tough. I feel for Josh Keeley, but he was the hero in the semis, and I think he's had a brilliant season as well, and he's done played a massive part to get him to this stage.
Just seeing that go in, Joby, is it hard to watch from a Leyton Orient perspective?
Yeah, it will be, but again, it shouldn't just come down to Josh Keeley. Like Phil's just said, he's been magnificent this season. He's won them an awful lot of points as a young goalkeeper, making his way in the game, and that is where sometimes if there has been a slight error, you need one of your teammates to help dig you out and come out with a moment sometimes, and then nobody remembers that, you know, in time to come. So I think overall, it'd just be a disappointment if you come into here and all that hard work you've done to lose with a goal like that, which was preventable. If someone scores a worldie, or, you know, you can kind of live with it at times. But I think that will be the real disappointment for everyone at Leyton Orient today.
Yeah, and disappointing as well. As you said, you look to someone else to try and find some inspiration at the other end. That shot on target towards the end of the game in the 110th minute, Des, was the first effort on target from Leyton Orient.
Yeah, look, they finished, I think, league's top goal scorers or second top goal scorers, scored the most since December 1st, you know, same as Charlton. Well, they've gone on a bit of a run since that point, and there was 2 big moments, there was 2 chances near enough back-to-back in the game, middle of the second half, where Jack Curry's deflected shot past the post and then directly from that corner where he just put it over the top of the bar. So it was those big moments, but they didn't just quite fall for them.
Phil, give us your perspective. When you won here, how long did you enjoy the moment? Did you soak up the scenes and party? And then how quickly were you starting to think to what needs to be done now?
Yeah, obviously you enjoy the night and the next couple of days. I think that's really important to do that for the players and Nathan and all his staff as well. But as a manager and the staff, very quickly your mind's got to start turning to the next season and pre-season plans, and I'm sure Nathan and his backroom team will have been having those conversations. But as a manager, you do have those conversations, but you're so focused on the game coming up, you're not really listening too much, because you know the be-all and end-all is the final.
Yeah, I don't think the players are thinking about next season yet, Jason, judging by these sides.
Yeah, no, just pictures there of the players in the change room. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. They're belly flopping on concrete. I don't get it myself.
That's what promotion does to you.
But no, it's great scenes as well. Great scenes for everyone involved.
Yeah, that's a lovely image, isn't it? All the players there with the trophy in the changing room. And I guess, Joe, but these are moments as a player you've got to milk every moment of. You never know how many of those you're going to get in a career.
Oh, of course. And listen, at the end of the season, in a playoff final, this is what everybody sees. What people don't see is all the work that goes on. You know, those hard yards, that getting over disappointments. You know, again, for Nathan, creating a culture, building a group. I mean, it's such a lovely mix of youth and experience in that group. And sometimes it does take what I was interested in hearing Matty saying, sometimes for the young boys, just about, you know, keeping them grounded. But at the same time, as an experienced player, you get energy from those players as well. So again, he's done a great job, Nathan, of just moulding the group to how he wants to see a Charlton side look. I think the fans have responded to that, and this is the end result of a lot of hard work throughout the season.
Yeah, a lot of hard work indeed, and it all comes down to one day, and they have had the success here at Wembley. Let's get you some more reaction, shall we? And let's head into the tunnel here at Wembley, because Payne is on our commentary team. Curtis Davis.
Yeah, joined with Curtis, and it's a little bit of different emotions really from one end to the other of the tunnel here. We just saw the Charlton players going in after their celebrations, and they will be enjoying this until the late hours tonight, won't they?
Yeah, I certainly hope so. You know, these moments don't come about a lot. Some players do get multiple promotions, but to do it here at Wembley in front of your fans, that 40,000 fans there, to be able to celebrate that trophy on the pitch, but most of all, get yourselves to the Championship, where Charlton will believe they at least belong before trying to get back to the Premier League is massive. And, you know, for those players, today it was about tactical battle. They got over the line rather than playing so well, but you don't care when you're in a changing room and you're celebrating with all the champagne.
When you look at the game as a whole, there was moments perhaps where Leyton Orient were getting back into the game, especially in the second half. Did you see them getting a goal, or do you think Charlton always had it in their control?
Charlton had it in control in terms of Orient were huffing and puffing. There were the deflected shot from Curry, just went past the post, deflected from Kelman where it hits the bar, and you know, with those moments, it's about capitalising on those moments. But they couldn't quite have that bit of quality. Later on in the game, a few crosses where they just put it just straight into the keeper's hands, into Will Mannion's hands, and made it a little bit easy for him. But fair play to Charlton, because Nathan Jones, after the game, the humility to say, we didn't play well today, but we defended excellently. And that's what they've been about this season. It's when they get a lead, they don't let it up. And fair play to him, because ultimately, when you come to Wembley, you want to play well. Everyone wants to have the fantastic performance and do this excellent football. It's about winning football. And Charlton did that today with their detail and the quality when the moments counted.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? Games like this, it's all about big moments, and Charlton had that big moment with the free kick. Just in your opinion, you saw it at the commentary box, you had a really good view from it. It was a pretty good strike, wasn't it? It
was a really clean strike, very good strike from Macaulay and Macaulay Gillespie, and the way he hit it. But when we first saw it, and I always like to see it back, and I feel that Keeley, when he set up his wall, because there were two on the ball, there's a right footer and a left footer, I think he left himself a bit short by only having four. And then once that happens, and then Gillespie steps up, for him to be able to bend it on the inside of the wall where he can see it the whole time and then still score, I think it's really difficult. Without it being in the top corner, to say that I don't think the keeper could have done better. So I do think he could have done better. It's unfortunate because he has been excellent for them. Young player on his first loan here. But listen, he'll learn from it. He's been a big player for them this season, and I think moving forward from this, Leyton have got lots to do and lots of players to replace next year to have another fighter trying to get back up.
It was a really good atmosphere inside the stadium as well. Lots of fans here. The Charlton fans still hanging around, making sure that they're looking at all the celebrations. What will it mean for them?
Oh, it's everything, because as we spoke about, Leyton Orient, Charlton are a team that have been in the Premier League in recent history. Unfortunately for them, relegated to the Championship, relegated out of the Championship to League One, and they've been here far too long by their standards. So now they're back in the Championship. They'll want to just enjoy that moment for now, get there, but then all eyes will be on how quickly can we get back to the Premier League. I'll let Nathan Jones worry about that, but for now, they are in the Championship and they'll be playing Championship football next year.
All right then, well, we are just outside the dressing room. Let's see what's actually happening inside the Charlton dressing room.
Josh, that's some first year at the club, isn't it?
It's amazing. Listen, I came down here because I wanted to achieve things like this and get myself up to the size I could possibly go, and obviously, first season, this is unbelievable, so I'm buzzing.
It hasn't always been an easy ride, though, as well. You've had a lot of struggles this season to overcome.
Yeah, obviously we have. We had a slow start to the season. We were getting a wee bit of stick, but I'm absolutely delighted that it's turned around the way and ended up like this.
Did today sum it all up to some degree as well, because you got in front, but then also you had to ride out some tricky moments too?
Yeah, no, listen, we got put under pressure at some points in the game, but luckily we overcame it, and now we're in the champ.
Now they're in the champ, they certainly are. Access all areas for you here inside the winning change room. Charlton Athletic are winners. They can look forward to being in the Championship next season. We'll have much more for you from Wembley after the break.
doing the basics is what's just got us promoted. And you've all had to do that. You've all sacrificed. I asked you, demanded from you that you keep that you sacrifice parts of your life, and you've all done it. And that's why we finish strong. That's why we win games in 90+ minutes. That's why we keep going. And I'm so proud of this group, and I'm so proud of everyone at the club, right from top to bottom. We've made sane decisions. There was times when we weren't the team I wanted us to be. And to be fair, I took shit for you lot. That's what I get paid for. So I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Because you've been humble, you've been hard-working, you've listened, you've been open-minded with so many things. And this is the team. We are Charlton. And I'm proud of that. And you know what Charlton is today? Championship!
That is the winning manager, Nathan Jones. Charlton will be Championship next season. Must just apologise for a little bit of colourful language you heard there from the Charlton boss, but you can understand this was an emotional moment for him, celebrating with his players inside the changing room just a few moments ago after this 1-0 win here at Wembley. We've been joined by the Wrexham striker Ollie Palmer, alongside his gaffer, of course, here. He'll be in the Championship with Charlton and Birmingham next season. Ollie, first of all, the final itself, what did you make of it?
I think it was probably fair to say two slightly nervous teams. I don't think it was probably the best spectacle, but there's a lot on the line, and Charlton came out on top today.
Leyton Orient's your old club, of course. How will they reflect on that today?
I think they'll be disappointed. You know, I think I've lost myself here in a playoff final, and it's tough. You go into a bit of a deep, dark hole, and you know you're going to have to dust yourself down and come back again and try and build on what they've done this season.
But for Nathan Jones, special moment in his career. You know him, you've played for him. What does he like to play for?
Making me sound like a journeyman. No, of course, yeah. No, Nathan Jones is, you know, is an incredible manager. I think it's probably fair to say that he's had a few tough stints recently at a few previous clubs, and he's come to Charlton and he's really turned it around here, and he's managed to get this club promoted. And Charlton's a massive football club, and they deserve to be in the Championship, and he's got him there.
How big a step are you and they going to be making next season?
Yeah, I think it's probably the biggest one, it's fair to say. It's obviously a huge league with a lot of talent, a lot of huge football clubs. So I'm sure the Gaff will be looking to build on the squad and improve, and let's see where that takes us.
I tell you what, you two teams, Wrexham and Charlton, have got two of the best defences in the division. We've seen that on evidence again today with how Charlton defended. How well does that set you up? How much of a chance does that give you in the Championship?
Yeah, I think it's massive. We talk about it every week, you know, being resilient, being hard to beat. And it always gives you a platform to build on and work on. If you don't concede goals, you're not going to lose games. And, you know, Charlton didn't concede today and they managed to win the game, and we managed to do that enough this season as well.
Ollie, I've spoken to you a few times since your time at Wrexham, obviously before you went there, and I know it was a big decision for you to take at the time, given where they were. I mean, back then, did you think you could go on? I mean, 3 promotions on the bounce is absolutely incredible. And do you actually think you guys have got the credit you deserved? Again, everyone talks about the money that's been thrown in it and the finance, but still an awful lot of work that has to be done from the manager and you as players.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Joby, because I think a lot of teams spend a lot of money in these leagues, and maybe it gets clouded a little bit on how well we've done, how well the Gaffer's done, the owners and everything that's kind of been put in. It doesn't automatically give you a promotion, and a lot of hard work's gone in behind the scenes. The club's grown significantly. There's been a lot of changes. It's evolved, and the players have tried to reflect that on the pitch, and we've tried to build on that, develop, improve as you go up the leagues. And I wouldn't say we haven't got the credit, but I think, like you said, it's probably clouded with the money being spent, which I think is probably fair to say in the National League. Maybe we were spending more than others, but not so much in League 2 and certainly not League 1. But it is what it is at the end of the day. We got the job done and we got promoted and created a little bit of history on the way.
Yeah, how does the picture change now for you, Phil, from the 3 years you've had now being in the Championship and the perception of Wrexham?
Yeah, obviously we're going into this division as with a bit of an underdog mentality. National League, League 2, everyone expected us to be there. League 1, we're up against some big clubs, and we played that card. We're going to be playing it again next season, and it's about concentrated keeping the momentum going, the qualities which have got you to this position, all the culture we've built at the club, all the qualities the team displays, and obviously add into that with quality as well. And that's what we've tried to do each year we've got promoted, and we'll be endeavouring to do that again.
Phil, just a quick one from me in terms of where players are. I mean, some are going off now, appearing in Hollywood movies, and is that what you want at the football club? Where are you with it? You think they're focused?
Well, I keep getting pictures sent to me of Ollie in America. I'm surprised he's back to come here today.
I've just come back to see you, Gaffer, that's all.
The things what I've always said to the lads, that I want them to experience the chances they've had at Wrexham, but equally not be able to separate that from the football and the training. I think the lads and the club, we've done that really well. The lads have kind of enjoyed the trappings and enjoyed the Hollywood side of it, but when 3 o'clock comes and the ref blows his whistle, we've represented the club in the right way.
Absolutely.
Just finally, let's just bring it back to one of your old teams, Leyton Orient today, Ollie. I think it was Omar Beckles who said to us after the semi-final, look, we're punching above our weight here, but having got so close, so tantalisingly close, how do you think they respond over the summer and next season?
I think they'll have to go away, take a break firstly, because it is hard. I don't know, Joby, have you lost here before in a playoff final or anything like that?
Yeah, a couple of times, thanks.
So it's hard. It is really hard, and it's part of football. But I think with what Richie Wellens has done this season, I think you can build on that. They can take a lot of pride in getting to the playoffs, especially getting to the playoff final. I'm sure he'll recruit a few new players, and they'll try and kick on again in League One and try and maybe even go one better with automatics. But it's a tough league. There's some big clubs coming down, and they'll try and do the same again next season.
I never said you're a journeyman, by the way, but another of your old clubs are here tomorrow, aren't they?
Yeah, Wimbledon are here tomorrow, so I'll be a little bit more biased for that. I would like to see AFC Wimbledon win tomorrow for sure, so good luck to them.
And then off to Hollywood, yeah?
Maybe.
Ollie, great of you to join us. Thanks so much indeed. Ollie Palmer joining us live here at Wembley. Richie Wellens, how will he react? 17 years to the day here. He was celebrating victory as a Doncaster Rovers player in the final against Leeds United. Today, he has to taste defeat. Let's hear from Wellens now. He's with Johnny Phillips.
Richie, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. How do you reflect on today?
No, listen, we're a developing club. We learn, we lick our wounds. Obviously, it hurts. And there's parts of the game that we've done really well today. But some of the other parts that need developing, when you're working with young players, they come here and at stage of the game, they're enjoying the game, but passing in front of them too much. And we didn't force the issue enough. I thought did we deserve to lose a game? Probably not. Did either team deserve to do anything that extra mile to win the game? Probably not. But in finals like this, you live on moments. And they've got the moment, and this is a poor goal for us to give away. Initially from the long ball and the second ball, then to give a free kick away. But I don't think a free kick should go in like that.
When you say it shouldn't go in like that, what would you have done differently in hindsight?
Well, our wall should jump, move to the side. Our keeper should probably save it. But Josh has been outstanding this year. I don't think if it's in the top corner, he'd take your hat off, but it's not. Ultimately, they've got that. I thought we responded well. And I thought in the second half we were the only real team pushing. But I warned them yesterday, when we play through lines really, really well. When we play through one line too long, we have to go for goal. And we didn't. We go through one line, we go through two lines, we come back, we get them set. They're good at defending the 18-yard box. So I think we started a little bit slow, both teams were a little bit cagey, and the moment just went against us.
You mentioned there, it came out second half, looked better, looked like there was more energy. What did you say to the players at second half just to really get them going for it?
Again, I've tried to use my previous experience as a player. I've been here as a manager. The 45 minutes, first 45, it feels like 10. It just drifts, it goes, don't get to 80 minutes and think we need a goal, push. And I think we've done that. I have to say that I don't think the VAR helped us with the comms going down, because I think we was pushing, we just hit the bar and we was pushing for a goal, and all of a sudden you get a 10, we just made 3 subs and then the game stops for 10 minutes. Pretty embarrassing, if I'm being honest.
Is that what's frustrating, is the fact that the momentum stopped just at the time when you had it on your side?
Yeah, but again, Sky had made a big issue about us defending from set plays. But in the first minute, Lloyd Jones brings Dan Aggie down. It's a blatant booking, because in the first 30 seconds, the referee doesn't give a booking. So their best, most aggressive defender now is okay. He's had a free one, and he can carry on his game. Whereas if he's got a booking, you need to be careful around our attacking players, especially Kelman. In the end, he got booked and should have been a red card. But It just highlights that they're official. And listen, it's not about, this is Charlton's day. They deserve to win. Did they deserve to win? It was an even game. They had the moment. So congratulations. I have to say their supporters were amazing. So we give them a credit, but again, it just highlights that the organisation of our officials is not good enough.
We saw you right at the end. You got in the huddle with all the players. What did you say to them?
Keep your head up. These players will grow, and sometimes this is the first final I've ever lost as a player, as a manager. So it hurts, but use it as fuel. Use it as fuel. We will have players. Again, the best player, I don't know who got man of the match. Who got man of the match? Was it Gillespie? Because of his free kick. Ethan Galbraith was the best player on this pitch by a mile. By a mile. So he will go on and he will further his career. You've got other young players that will go on to their careers, and you've got to use this as fuel. But understand that you can't wait for things to happen. You have to start well and you have to make them happen.
When you look back at the season as a whole, how proud can you be of what you have been able to achieve?
That's what I just said to the boys in the change room. We can be proud, and again, I spoke to them before the game. We've already won. We already won on the last day getting in the playoffs. We already won against Stockport over the 2 legs getting here. Now we want to win big. And unfortunately, even though we've won, we just didn't win big, and congratulations to Charlton.
Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pete Mullenstein with the questions there, of course. Joe, but we heard a few frustrations there from him. Can you understand them?
Yeah, of course you can. I think when you lose a game of this magnitude, you're searching, you're looking for maybe reasons why. And I thought he was really, really honest in terms of the goal itself. And it was a poor moment for them. And there will be some real disappointment with that. I think some of the other issues, the VAR stoppage, yes, doesn't help, of course, in terms of the flow of the game. But it's not really much anyone can do about that. And then, you know, maybe in terms of his reference to the set pieces and people highlighting it, I mean, in terms of where the game is now, Jules, and the analysis that goes into games, that isn't something that Charlton Athletic aren't going to have had a look at and say, right, is this an area that we're trying to exploit if they've had a little bit of an issue with it from a set piece point of view, which they had done, you know, against them, first of all, but also in those semi-finals against Stockport County. So, listen, I think overall they can be proud of this season. He's done magnificently. He will keep driving this football club. There's no doubt about it. You know, he's very ambitious. He'll ask questions of the ownership, the new ownership group, and want to keep moving forward. And again, with that new investment, there's no reason why they can't even go one better next year and get themselves automatically promoted.
And with that issue, with the technical issue with the kit, and that's why they had that big delay, and also the defending and the set pieces, which Joby mentioned there. As a manager, I'm assuming you wouldn't rely on Sky to give you that information. You'd have seen that yourself, would you?
Yeah, all the information is out there anyway. I think Richie's just a bit frustrated, and when you've just lost a playoff final, that tends to happen. But all in all, you've just got to look at some of the teams who didn't make the playoffs this season. You know, Huddersfield, Barnsley, Bolton, Rotherham, some really big teams didn't get in the playoffs. So it's an enormous achievement for Orient to do what they've done and be here today. Obviously, they'd love to have won, but it's a great platform for them to build from.
Absolutely. But as for Charlton, Des, next season, what will the target be? Do you think? We heard Nathan speak to us and say the ultimate goal is the Premier League, but I suppose it's one step at a time.
Yeah, I think just on Leyton Orient, I think they were 20th in League Two when Richie took over. So within 3 seasons to get promotion and be a free kick away from going up to the Championship, that's massive progress for a football club. In terms of Charlton, look, it's going to be a good summer. You know, it's a massive club. You know, it's a club that's got the infrastructure that's been there before, so it doesn't have to be built. And I'm sure they've got the money to go and compete, and it's up to them what they want to do and what that looks like. But it's an exciting time to be a Charlton fan.
You know, you did the step up last season. How big is the goal from League One to Championship?
We had a chat before, didn't we? And it's obviously the quality in terms of technical ability is obviously higher, and there's a reason for that. That's why players are playing at that level. But for us, and for me, certainly it was the speed of the game and the speed of both the players, the ball movement, the less decision time making that you get. That for me is the massive difference. So to be able to recruit and train players that certainly can match the pace of the game at that level, as well as then the technical ability of it, that'll be something I'm sure that they're looking at as well with others.
Fitting that we give the final word to the former Charlton man, the record Premier League goal scorer in Jason Ewell. I mean, to see your old team win here at Wembley to clinch promotion, how special is it?
No, it's a special moment, and not for someone who's attached to the club, but I think for the fans, the new ownership that's come in has taken a chance on the club, but knowing what the club's about and then fulfilling that first part of the dream. Like you said, we know that the bigger picture is Premier League, but it's one step at a time, and it's now about what that looks like over the next few days and weeks in terms of the recruitment, the processes of the financial everything attached to that, and about how smart do they want to be in either trying to go for it straight away for promotion or being sensible in consolidation. So it's about now enjoying the moment, enjoy it again tomorrow, but then it's that day when it comes about focus on next season.
Yeah, a great night ahead. Exciting times in store for your old club as well. When they start tending to the pitch behind you, you know that your time's up and you probably ought to go because there's another final here tomorrow. So we're going to say thank you to the guys, to Joby, to Jason, to Des and to Phil. We've really enjoyed your company. Thank you to you all, and all the best in the Championship to you next season as well. Phil, that is the end of the League One campaign. So much still to come though, and in fact not long to wait for you to find out who your EFL team will be playing next season. Because, would you believe it, EFL fixture release day isn't far off, just a month away. You can get all the details you need on Sky Sports News. Midday, June the 26th is the date for your diaries. And then we go again. Leagues 1 and 2 kick off first. That's the weekend of August the 1st, live on Sky Sports Football. And a week later, it's the Championship's turn, complete with Birmingham, Wrexham and Charlton Athletic, of course. Before all that, there is, as I mentioned, still one more promotion place to be settled. We are back here at Wembley tomorrow, Bank Holiday Monday, for the League 2 final. AFC Wimbledon against Walsall. Coverage of that one begins at 2 p.m. on Sky Sports Football. And this afternoon, it is the final round of games in the Premier League. All 20 teams playing at the same time, 4 p.m. The champions Liverpool up against the FA Cup winners Crystal Palace, the trophy lift at full time at Anfield. And over on main event, a huge game in the race for Champions League football next season. It's underway there, goalless at the moment. Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. Defeat doesn't bear thinking about for either. And I'm just hearing Forest have just taken the lead. Sky Sports Premier League, if you'd like to watch that. But that is that for League One. Charlton promoted here at Wembley. They'll be in the Championship next season. Nathan Jones and his side heading for the Championship. It's goodbye from Wembley.
Sky Sports Football.